The once glorious statue of Guan Yu is now casually thrown by the roadside, and the war god worshipped in the martial Sang temple has been replaced by the Western Ares. As a transmigrant, you naturally understand that Eastern deities have long been forgotten by the people of this world. Even at the Divine Awakening ceremony, all high school students choose to believe in Western gods. But you go straight to the dust-covered statue of Guan Yu. Put your hands together. Junior pays respects to the Holy Emperor Guan. I wish to ask, why can the people of Grand Xia only kneel to the young gods? Just as you think the statue won't respond, the statue of Guan Yu opens its eyes. A voice booms like a bell. 637 years, finally someone steps through this door again. Hearing Guan Yu's response, your heart trembles. You bow deeply. Please enlighten me, Holy Emperor. Guan Yu's divine apparition emerges from the statue. He looks at you and sighs. It's not that we refuse the challenge. It's simply that the incense has run dry. The divine rank descends. 600 years ago, during the dynastic change in Waxia, it was when martial strength was at its weakest. The Western pantheon descended and attacked suddenly. They suppressed the martial deities with thunderous force. All believers were massacred. Temples were destroyed. Incense was cut off. The martial pantheon lost despite their determination. Their divine ranks were shattered. They had no choice but to retreat into the void, barely surviving. Over the years, occasional descendants wandered here, but ultimately they all chose the Western pantheon. Guan Yu's voice was filled with endless loneliness. You are, in 637 years, the first Grand Xia descendant to kneel before me. You raise your head, eyes burning. You can imagine the brutality of that war. The Eastern pantheon fought alone, facing the siege of three great pantheons, and ultimately fell. And the descendants of Grand Xia have long been brainwashed, kneeling at the feet of the young gods, regarding the faith of their ancestors as ignorance. Holy Emperor, you take a deep breath. Holy Emperor, if I light incense for you, can you rise again? Guan Yu was silent. After a long time, he slowly shook his head. My divine rank is already on the verge of shattering. Even this fragment of divine will barely sustain the statue. Maintaining it is barely possible. Unless what? Unless there's a vast supply of incense or a person with great fortune, using themselves as a medium to rekindle faith. You understand? And immediately stand up. Bite your finger. Using blood as incense, using your own essence as guidance, using your soul as energy, you forcefully connect with the deity. The price is a shorter lifespan, but you do not care. Today I offer my blood for the first incense stick, and my soul to renew the first trace of faith. Holy Emperor Guan above, please accept my reverence. The broken statue of Guan Yu begins to glow. The entire hall starts to tremble. Dust falls everywhere. Spider webs break apart bit by bit. Guan Yu's divine apparition fluctuates violently. A long-lost fire ignites in his phoenix eyes. Good, good, good.
He repeats good 3 times.
637 years, and finally someone like you arrived. If so, I shall use this remaining divine rank to grant you a blessing. The broken blade in the statue's hand suddenly glows blue. That blue light spirals upwards like a dragon, and finally turns into blade intent, merging into Chen Fan's brow. A prompt from the Eastern deity system sounds in your mind. A flood of information pours into your mind. You close your eyes, feeling the blade intent between your brows. Sharp and domineering. Loyalty and righteousness through the ages. It is the martial essence Guan Yu gained throughout his life. Even just walking the street is enough to slay demons and monsters. Junior thanks Holy Emperor Guan for his blessing. You bow again immediately. Guan Yu's apparition begins to fade and blur. My divine power can only sustain this far. From here you're on your own. Remember, incense is the lifeblood of the gods. You must rekindle incense for the Eastern pantheon and gather believers again. Within 7 days, if incense breaks off, our connection will be severed. I will completely disappear. Don't let us wait too long. As his voice ends, the apparition fades away. The hall returns to silence. You slowly stand up, turn deeply towards the statue. Walk out of the hall. The officiating priest in charge of the test sees you walk out from the ruined hall, rushes up to grab your shoulder. Which deity did you resonate with? What's your divine blessing value? Hurry up and say something. You slowly speak 4 words. Marshal St. Guan Yu. Marshal St. Guan Yu. The priest was stunned. The crowd below looked at each other. Who's Guan Yu? Never heard of him. Is he a god from a minor pantheon? Only Teacher Li suddenly trembled all over. He suddenly looked up, voice quivering. Guan Yu. Could it be Marshal St. Guan Gong from the Eastern Pantheon? When the words Eastern Pantheon were mentioned, the crowd went silent at first. Then Wang Hao burst out laughing. Eastern Pantheon? Chen Fan, are you out of your mind? Of all gods, you choose to resonate with a dead Eastern god? Others started reacting too. Laughter erupted everywhere. I thought he actually lucked out, resonated with some hidden god. Turns out it's the Eastern Pantheon. That's even worse than resonance failure. At least it's less embarrassing. Eastern Pantheon? Wasn't it thrown in the trash of history already? That's hilarious. This loser really is a loser. He can't resonate with anything but a trash pantheon. The ridicule surged like a tide. On the stage, even the blonde priest showed a disdainful expression. Eastern Pantheon really is garbage with garbage.
He turned and spoke to the staff.
Record. Chen Fan resonated with Eastern Pantheon. Guan Yu's divine blessing value. Forget it. Eastern Pantheon doesn't have a blessing system. Record as invalid. By the rules, he still needs to be exiled. The mocking got even louder. Exile, hurry up and exile him. Being in the same school as this loser, I feel embarrassed. Wang Hao shouted the loudest. He wished he could drag Chen Fan away himself. But Teacher Li suddenly rushed onto the stage. Wait, he blocked you, and shouted at the blonde priest. Global Awakening Convention says, during the Pantheon Resonance Test, anyone who connects with a registered deity, regardless of Pantheon, is considered to have passed the awakening test and enjoys legal citizenship. The blonde priest frowned. Teacher Li recited the regulations. The clause was revised in year 57 New Era by all 12 seats in Divine Alliance unanimously passed. It's still valid. The blonde priest's face darkened, but he quickly sneered. So what if he resonated? The Eastern Pantheon was erased ages ago. Now it only exists in history textbooks. It's a defunct pantheon. He looks at you. His eyes are full of mockery, laughing at you for resonating with a dead god. Even if this god responds to you, it can't give you anything. Without a divine grace system for support, you can't even learn the most basic divine arts. The Divinity Academy materials, the cultivation methods and resource allocations are all designed based on the 3 major divine systems' divine grace as their foundation. How will you cultivate, then? Use your head? The audience bursts into laughter. Wang Hao is clutching his stomach, laughing himself silly. After all this fuss, you resonated with a zombie god. Chen Fan, are you planning to be a corpse driver or what? You look at the blonde priest and calmly ask, so, according to what you're saying, the Eastern divine system doesn't count as gods? Of course not. The blonde priest answers matter-of-factly. What you resonated with is just a historical relic. You speak slowly and clearly. According to the regulations, any tester who resonates with a pantheon deity, regardless of the deity's system status, automatically qualifies as a provisional scroll holder. Did you forget about this rule? The blonde priest's expression turns dark. He didn't expect you, a poor kid from an orphanage, to be so familiar with these regulations. He grits his teeth. If the Divine Rights Alliance's treaty can be so easily altered, you stare at him and continue, so can I assume that this so-called Global Awakening Convention is just a trick used to fool people? That's a harsh accusation. So harsh that the blonde priest can't respond. The Divine Grace Awakening ritual is fully recorded. If there's ever a scandal of an Alliance official publicly violating the convention, as a mere inspector, he wouldn't survive the consequences. The mood became tense. Just then, a gentle voice sounded. Master Anderson. Bai Yuming walked up the stage and gave a slight bow to the blonde priest. He's wearing today the white robe of a saint-like chapel initiate, with a silver cross pinned on his chest, radiating a soft halo. The blonde priest sees him, and his expression softens a bit. Anything you need, Bai? Chun Fan is my neighbor, Bai Yuming says softly. We grew up together from childhood. Though his background isn't great, he's always worked very hard.
He managed to resonate this time.
No matter which deity he resonated with, at least he received a response. According to the convention, he shouldn't be exiled. He raises his head, his beautiful eyes full of pleading. Can you give him a chance? Even if he can't enter Divinity Academy, at least let him finish school at a regular institution, so he'll be able to find a normal job in the future. A beauty's plea always has some effect, especially since Bai Yuming is the brightest genius. At today's Blue City Awakening ceremony, S-Class talent, 90 Divine Grace points. Already locked in as a student by Saint Light Academy, his reputation. The blonde priest must give. The blonde priest snorts coldly, lets himself off the hook. Since Bai spoke up, I'll let this go once. He turns to you.
His gaze icy.
According to the regulations, you qualify as a provisional scroll holder and are exempt from exile. But the Eastern Divine System has no divine grace. The school won't provide any cultivation resources. You won't understand or learn any courses at Divinity Academy. Do as you please. With that, he leaves with a wave of his sleeve. The ritual continued. But no one's attention was on the stage anymore. He actually managed to slip through. Wang Hao spits. Unhappy, a few sidekicks echo him. Don't get mad. How? He's just barely hanging on. Without a divine grace system, what will he use to cultivate? When the divine exam comes in 6 months, he'll get eliminated anyway. He'll be kicked out in the end. You ignore them. Walk off the stage with Teacher Lee supporting you. Find a quiet corner. Sit down. How are you feeling? Teacher Lee asks worriedly. Just now when you stepped out of the Pantheon, there seemed to be a faint bluish blade mark between your brows. I'm fine. You shake your head. You just feel overheated. The blade's power between your brows is stirring restlessly, like it's ready to burst out at any time. You just want to find a place to digest this power quickly. Chun Fan, Bai Yuming walks over. He looks at you. His gaze complicated. Any plans for the future? Not sure. Chun Fan answers honestly. How about... Bai Yuming hesitates. I'll talk to the Saint Light Chapel's priest and get you a job as a general worker at the chapel. You can't cultivate, but at least you'll have food. You laugh, but not because you're touched. You find it funny. Thanks, but that won't be necessary. You stand and pat off the dust on your clothes. I'll walk my own path. Bai Yuming bites his lip. He wants to say something else, but you've already turned to leave. Teacher Lee watches Bai Yuming's disappointed back and sighs. Actually, Bai is a nice guy. Yeah, totally. He chose Saint Light. Chun Fan continues. Everyone has their own ambition. No need to say more, Teacher Lee. Chun Fan didn't return to his dorm. He left the school, headed straight for the old town, following the divine-eyed clock in his mind. Blue City still has over a dozen remnants of Eastern divine artifacts. He must find a quiet place to study the Azure Dragon Crescent blade he just got, and that incense system. Halfway there, his phone rings. It's a class group message. Teacher Lee at everyone. Urgent notice, the school received a file from the provincial committee to prepare for the Citywood High School Divine Scroll holders. Team competition at 8 a.m. tomorrow. All students who pass the Awakening test will head together to Olympus Training Field in the West City for adaptation training. Team competition, 5 per team. Free to form groups. Results count toward provincial exam bonus points. Top 5 teams get direct admission to Divinity Academy. Note, before the day of the team competition, those who haven't found a team will lose their qualification. This event affects future enrollment. It's very important. Please pay close attention. The chat exploded instantly. Everyone is searching for teammates. Chun Fan scans the group, but doesn't say anything.
He knows nobody would team up with the Eastern Divine System.
Without a divine being system. Can't even use basic divine arts. To others, he's just a burden. And indeed, after all the excitement in the group, no one mentions him. But Wang Hao jumps in. Our team is already set. Level A, 72 points. Zhang Kong, Level B, 61 points. Li Na, Level B, 62 points. Zhao Kun, Level C, 50 points. And Bai Yumeng, Level S, 90 points. Whoa, Hao Bro is amazing. This lineup practically guarantees the championship. I can't believe By the School Beauty teamed up with Hao Bro. jealous of Bai Yuming, who sent a smiling emoji. Without saying anything, Chun Fan turned off his phone. He kept moving forward.
10 minutes later, he arrived at Chunfeng Street in the Old District.
This is a rundown old street. Both sides are filled with single-story houses awaiting demolition. The walls are covered in graffiti ending in the word demolish. Number 28. A small temple with half its gate plaque missing. Chun Fan pushed open the creaky wooden door. Walked inside. The temple is small, less than 30 square meters. A statue of Guan Yu is enshrined at the center altar. Not the 10-meter giant statue from the virtual space. Just a regular clay sculpture. Only half as tall as an adult. Most of the paint has peeled off. The green dragon crescent blade is broken. Even the altar has several cracks. But Chun Fan's divine sight can see. A faint green light emanates from the clay statue. It's the same source as the blade mark in the virtual space. This is the place. Chun Fan closed the door. Sat cross-legged before the statue. Closed his eyes. His consciousness sank into his mind. Incense system. Current state activated, deity bound. Martial Sage Guan Yu. Awakening level. Spirit 1%. Incense supply. 1 offering. Personal worshipper count. 1. Self's divine role. Guardian of Oriental artifacts. Walker of the mortal world.
Temporary mission.
Maintain incense for 7 days without interruption. Time remaining 6 days. 23 hours, 47 minutes. Failure penalty. Divine role revoked. Connection to Guan Yu interrupted. Simple but harsh. In 7 days he must keep the incense burning. Otherwise Guan Yu's lost divine will would dissipate completely. Incensed Chun Fan opened his eyes. Looking at the Guan Yu statue in front of him. No incense, no candles. Not even a single offering. He thought for a moment. Took out his lost 5 yuan from his pocket. This was his lost living expense for the month. He stepped outside. Bought 3 cheap incense sticks at the corner shop. A pack of matches. Went back to the temple. Lit the incense and placed it in the burner before the altar. Wisps of smoke rose up. Chun Fan knelt before the statue. Respectfully bowed 3 times. Guan Sheng Dijin above. Junior Chun Fan swears an oath here today. I vow to rekindle the incense of our Oriental pantheon. Gather believers once again. In 7 days, the incense shall not go out. After 7 days, the number of believers will increase. As he finished speaking, a system notification popped up in his mind. Detected incense offering, incense supply 1.001 offerings. Increasing continuously. Mission countdown. Reset to 7 days. It worked even if it only increased by 0.001. At least the incense was restored. Chun Fan let out a sigh of relief. Next, he began studying the green dragon crescent blade's shadow. His consciousness sank between his brows. He could see a green blade shadow. Floating at the center of his spiritual sea, the blade shadow is very faint, but it emits a chilling, murderous intent. Chun Fan tried to touch it. Boom, an enormous amount of information flooded into his mind. No words, no images, only insight. Understanding the blade, mastering forms, the way of Chinese medicine, the martial essence of Guan Yu's lifetime. Even just the beginner's 1/10,000th is enough for Chun Fan to benefit endlessly. So this is the cultivation method of the Oriental pantheon. Chun Fan opened his eyes. Seemingly enlightened, the Western pantheon relies on divine grace points. The higher the divine grace points, the closer the affinity with the deity, more divine power can be borrowed, and the spells released are stronger. The whole process, borrowing, while the Oriental pantheon relies on insight. The deity doesn't bestow power. It bestows the Tao if you understand it. That power becomes yours. If you don't, no matter how much you get, it's useless. No wonder there's no divine grace system. Chun Fan murmured to himself. There are 2 completely different paths. He stood up, randomly picked up a wooden stick from the ground, swung according to the insight within the Tao. Very slow, very clumsy. But the trajectory left by the stick has a trace of chilling energy. The temperature in the temple seemed to drop by several degrees. Not enough, Chun Fan kept practicing. 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes. No flashy moves, just basic chops, sweeps, and slashes. Yet, with every strike, he tried to comprehend the blade's intent. Time passed bit by bit, his shirt soaked with sweat, his arms so sore he couldn't lift them. But Chan Fan didn't stop. He knew he was running out of time. Tomorrow, he had to go to Olympus training field. It's full of Western Pantheon Awakeners. He's the only Eastern Pantheon member. He'll definitely be seen as an outlier. If he can't even protect himself, forget about thriving. Surviving 7 days is questionable. He kept practicing until it was dark. Chan Fan finally stopped. Holding the stick, he slowly swung the final strike into the void. This time, a faint green light appeared at the tip of the stick. Only an inch long. It flashed and disappeared. But the stone eyes on the Guan Yu statue in the temple seemed to shine slightly. Green Dragon Crescent Blade. Blade Intent Proficiency increased, currently mastered 1%. System notification appeared on time. Chan Fan collapsed on the floor, panting heavily. Exhausted, but worth it. At least now he has a fighting chance. Just then, the phone rang again. It was Teacher Lee's private message. Chan Fan saw the group messages, right? About tomorrow's training field teams? Chan Fan replied, no. Teacher Lee was silent for a bit, then sent a message. I just checked with teachers from other classes. The school values this team competition highly. Top 5 get direct admission to the Divine Arts Academy. Top 10 get an extra 50 points on the college entrance exam. But if you can't find a team, the rules do say your qualification gets revoked. Should I ask the principal? See if you can get a special solo entry. Chan Fan smiled. Solo entry. That would basically broadcast to everyone.
He's the isolated outlier.
No need, Teacher Lee. He replied. I'll figure something out myself. Please don't worry. I know what I'm doing. End of conversation. Chan Fan stared at his phone screen. Calm gaze. He won't ask anyone for help to team up. The path to resurrect the Eastern Pantheon is destined to be lonely. But loneliness doesn't mean weakness. Tomorrow at the training field, he will show everyone with his blade. The Eastern Pantheon isn't completely dead yet. At least Chan Fan is still alive. As long as you're alive, there's hope. He stood up. He bowed once more to the statue of Guan Yu. Then he blew out the incense. He locked the temple doors and disappeared into the night. The 3 sticks of incense in the temple had already burned out, but a wisp of blue smoke lingered in the incense burner. The smoke spiraled upward, eventually merging into Guan Yu's statue's brow. The clay statue seemed to come alive a little. Early the next morning, more than a dozen buses stopped at the main gate of Blue City No. 1 high school. There were over 300 students who passed the awakening test. All were wearing brand new Divine Arts Academy preparatory uniforms, white with gold patterns. Each had their Pantheon's emblem embroidered on the chest. Olympus had a lightning bolt. Norse had a battle axe. The Holy Light had a cross. Only Chan Fan was still wearing his worn-out, faded school uniform. Standing in the crowd, he looked completely out of place. Isn't this our great Eastern god? Wang Hao walked over with his 4 teammates, speaking sarcastically. So you still haven't found a team? The ones beside him, Zhang Kong, Li Na, and a few others, all laughed. Bai Yuming was also in the group. He looked at Chan Fan, wanting to say something but stopped. In the end, he turned his face away. Chan Fan ignored them. He went straight to the last bus. The bus was already more than half full. But when people saw him coming, several nearby students immediately stood up and moved to other seats. As if he was carrying some plague, Chan Fan enjoyed the peace and quiet. He found a window seat and sat down. The bus started moving. Scenery streamed past the window. The city's hustle and bustle gradually gave way to the desolate outskirts. Half an hour later, the bus convoy entered a massive complex. Towering Roman columns, majestic temple-style buildings, and floating lightning, flames, and radiant effects in the air. This is the Olympus Training Grounds, the largest God-chosen training base in Blue City. The students got off one by one and lined up on the square in front of the training grounds. The square was huge, the ground paved with neat blue stone slabs. Right in the center stood a 3-meter-tall statue of Zeus. His thunder scepter pointed skyward. The base of the statue was inscribed in gold, Divine Grace. Blesses all. Chan Fan stood at the very end of the line, watching the excited classmates, emotionless. The so-called training grounds they were about to enter, at its core, was a dimensional space remade by the Western pantheons. That place was once a naturally formed spirit domain on Eastern land, a little world where spiritual energy gathered and monsters bred. 300 years ago, when the Western gods descended, they took control of all these spirit domains and transformed them into training grounds. Now they imprisoned all kinds of monsters and demons inside. Most were captured and suppressed during the purge of Eastern Pantheon followers, hunted down from all over.
Now,
They've become leveling targets for Western Awakener trainees. Everyone quieted down. A middle-aged man in a black ceremonial robe walked onto the high platform. A lightning bolt emblem of Olympus hung on his chest. He was the head of the training grounds. His name was Horn, a Westerner, who had lived in China for over 20 years. His Chinese was very fluent. I am the chief instructor at Blue City Olympus Training Grounds. Horn, welcome to the first stop of your awakening. His voice was loud, full of undeniable authority. You have all completed the Divine Grace Awakening ceremony. But awakening is only the start. If you want to become true awakeners, you'll have to slay monsters in the training grounds, accumulate combat experience, and deepen your divine sense. When your divine sense exceeds 100%, you'll receive another blessing from your God and officially advance to a first-class awakener. Buzzing whispers broke out below the stage. First-class awakener. I haven't even used a divine art yet. I heard awakeners can cast real divine arts. I'm so looking forward to it. Horn raised his hand, signaling for silence. I know many of you don't understand the divine art system yet, so let me briefly explain. With a wave of his hand, a few lines of golden text appeared in the air. Divine art levels. Basic divine arts. Attack, defense, and healing types. Power is average. Advanced divine arts. Area damage, sustained buffs. Significantly more powerful. Legendary divine arts. Large-scale spells that can change battles. Terrifying power, mythic divine arts are said to be used by gods themselves. Mortals can't even look upon them. The power of divine arts depends on your divine grace value and aptitude level, and your proficiency with the arts. The higher your divine grace, the more divine power you can channel, the stronger your divine arts. Aptitude level determines your limit. S-rank talents might master legendary divine arts. F-rank may barely learn basic divine arts. Proficiency requires actual combat practice. Praying at church won't cut it. Horn looked around the crowd. So, the training ground is your best place for real combat. Slay monsters inside. Not only will your divine sense deepen, you'll also earn divine grace rewards. The more you slay, the greater the rewards, and the faster you advance. Besides monster slaying, there are other ways to rise, like accumulating offerings, doing good deeds, or meditative breakthroughs. But those are too far away from most of you. Just focus on slaying monsters for now, and building a solid foundation. After finishing,
He pointed to a giant stone gate at the end of the plaza.
the stone gate was 10 meters tall, entirely pitch black, its frame carved with intricate runes. Inside the gate was a swirling vortex of chaos, giving off an unsettling vibe. This is the entrance to the training grounds. Once you go in, you'll be randomly placed in the outer zone, where the monsters are of average strength, about early first-class level, perfect for your training. Each team will get a rescue talisman. If you're in danger, crush it to be transported out immediately. But don't rely on it too much, because from activation to transport, there's a 3-second delay. In those 3 seconds, a strong enough monster could easily tear you apart. Horn showed a meaningful smile. So know your limits. Now, teams enter in order. Teams began to move. The first teams entering were all those with high aptitude and strong divine grace values, elite teams. They marched confidently into the stone gate, their figures vanishing into the vortex. Wang Hao's team was in the third group. When passing Chen Fan, he stopped on purpose, looking him up and down. Oh, great Eastern God, you really came. Planning to go in and get yourself killed alone? Jiang Kong beside him sneered. Don't bother with him. How? Let him fend for himself. Lina curled her lips too. A useless guy without divine grace. He'll just feed the monsters inside. Bai Yuming stood in the team. Her lips moved, wanting to say something, but in the end she didn't. Wang Hao noticed her expression and felt even more annoyed. He always liked Bai Yuming. The girl was beautiful, came from a good family, and had high talent, recognized as Blue City's top elite. But her personality was icy cold. She kept her distance from everyone, except for Chun Fan, the poor boy from the orphanage. She would say a few more words to him, and even show different expressions. Wang Hao was insanely jealous. He just couldn't understand why a useless guy without divine grace would catch Bai Yuming's eye. Let's go inside. Wang Hao looked away and led his team into the stone gate. Before leaving, he glanced back at Qian Fan, eyes full of malice. Today, he was going to make sure this loser disappeared for good. As Bai Yuming passed by Chun Fan, her footsteps faltered for a second. Be careful, Chun Fan. Her voice was very soft, so quiet it was nearly inaudible. Then he walked quickly into the stone gate. Without looking back, Chun Fan was expressionless. The team entered one by one. There were fewer and fewer people in the square. Finally, it was Chun Fan's turn. He walked toward the stone gate, but was stopped by a hand. The one who stopped him was a staff member in a training ground uniform, about 30 years old, with a buzz cut and obvious hostility on his face. You can't go in. Chun Fan stopped. Reason? The buzz cut man sneered. The training ground is only open to Awakened of the Western Pantheon. You belong to the Eastern Pantheon. You are not on the entry list. Who said that? I did. The buzz-cut man crossed his arms, with a look that said, I just won't let you in. What can you do about it? Chun Fan looked at him without speaking. A few students nearby who hadn't entered yet also gathered around to watch the show. Who is this guy? Why is he alone? That trash from the Eastern Pantheon. The one whose divine grace value tested as 0 yesterday. Holy crap, the one who resonated with the god of death. Not the god of death. It's Guan. Guan something. Anyway, it's an Eastern god, dead as a doornail long ago. What is he doing at the training ground? Looking to get tortured? Laughter rose and fell. Chun Fan ignored them, took out his phone from his pocket, opened the web page, and held it in front of the buzz-cut man. The Global Awakening Convention stipulates any awakened who passes the Pantheon Resonance test and receives a response from a deity, regardless of their affiliated pantheon, shall enjoy, along with awakened of the 3 major pantheons, equal civil rights. He finished reading and stared at the buzz-cut man. Do you want me to continue reading? The buzz-cut man's face changed. Of course he knew that this Global Awakening Convention was established by the Divine Alliance itself. Every cleric had to memorize it. But the problem was, who would take the Eastern Pantheon seriously? Over the years, occasionally someone would resonate with the Eastern Pantheon, but they were basically the lowest level, like the Earth God or the Kitchen God. Their divine grace value never exceeds a few points. No different from trash. No one would actually take the convention's terms seriously. But Chun Fan was doing exactly that. The buzz-cut man gritted his teeth. The convention is the convention, but the training ground has its own rules. Our rules are bigger than the convention. Chun Fan interrupted him. Then can I understand it as the training ground is openly violating the supreme decree of the Divine Alliance? These words were too heavy. The buzz-cut man's forehead broke a sweat, and a few staff members around also looked at each other in dismay. The training ground was funded by the Divine Alliance. If a scandal of violating the Global Awakening Convention got out, everyone from top to bottom would be in trouble. Let him in. A deep voice came over. Horn walked over, glanced at Chun Fan, with a complex look in his eyes. Chief instructor, but I said let him in. Horn's tone was unquestionable. The convention is the convention. We have no right to refuse any legal awakened. The buzz-cut man stepped aside unwillingly. Chun Fan put away his phone and walked toward the stone gate. Kid, Horn's voice came from behind. Chun Fan stopped. The monsters in the training ground for awakened of the Eastern Pantheon won't be very friendly. Many of them were captured from the East by the Western Pantheon back in the day. They will smell the aura on you and will be crazier in attacking you than anyone else. Are you sure you want to go in? Chun Fan turned around and looked at Horn. Is the chief instructor caring about me or trying to talk me out of it? Horn was silent for 2 seconds, then shook his head. Suit yourself. I'm just reminding you. If anything happens, the training ground is not responsible. I know. Chun Fan turned and walked into the stone gate. The vortex swallowed his figure. Horn looked at the stone gate, muttering to himself in a low voice. What exactly is this kid from the Eastern Pantheon thinking? The buzz-cut man leaned over and lowered his voice. Chief Instructor, should we send someone to keep an eye on him? What if something really happens? What could happen? Horn glanced at him. He wanted to go in himself. If he dies, he asked for it. Besides, he looked at the stone gate with indifferent eyes. A piece of trash from the Eastern Pantheon. If he dies, he dies. The buzz-cut man breathed a sigh of relief, revealing a sinister smile on his face. Right, if he dies, he dies. Nobody will care anyway. The moment he passed through the stone gate, Chun Fan felt his body being torn by a massive force. His vision first went completely black, then suddenly lit up. He was standing on a desolate plain. The sky was grayish, with no sun in sight. The light seemed to seep in from all directions. The ground was cracked and dry, without a single blade of grass. There were broken stones and rotting deadwood everywhere. The air was filled with a faint smell of blood. In the distance, he could faintly see some blurry shadows wandering about. Chun Fan took a deep breath and gripped the wooden stick in his hand, the one he had picked up in the Guandi temple yesterday. Since he didn't have a handy weapon, he could only make do with it. He walked cautiously toward the depths of the plain. After walking for less than 5 minutes, the first monster appeared. It was a wolf. No, not a wolf. Its size was twice that of an ordinary wolf, covered all over in black scales. Its eyes were blood red, and viscous liquid kept dripping from its mouth. The most bizarre thing was, it had 3 curved bone spikes growing on its back, standing upright like flagpoles. The divine eye activated automatically, and information appeared before Chun Fan's eyes. Wrought bone wolf, level, tier 1 early stage. Description: after being suppressed by the Western Pantheon, it mutated from void energy erosion into a monster. A trace amount of Eastern incense remains in its body. A trace amount of Eastern incense? Chun Fan's heart skipped a beat. The rotbone wolf had already pounced over. Its speed was very fast, its sharp claws tearing through the air with a bloody wind. Chun Fan dodged sideways and swept his wooden stick horizontally, smashing the wolf's head. The rotbone wolf staggered a few steps from the hit, but quickly steadied its body and pounced again. Its scales were very hard. Ordinary attacks didn't have much effect. Chun Fan took a deep breath and channeled the green dragon crescent blade intent from his brow. A faint cyan light lit up at the tip of the wooden stick. Very faint, but it was enough. The rotbone wolf pounced again. This time Chun Fan didn't dodge.
He met it head-on, swinging the wooden stick down from above.
The cyan light drew an arc and slashed accurately on the wolf's head. Crack! The scales shattered. A gash was split open on the rotbone wolf's skull. Black blood splattered as it let out a shrill roar, struggled a few times, then crashed to the ground. The corpse began to smoke and rapidly decomposed into black ashes, scattering with the wind. From the ashes, a wisp of white light, almost invisible to the naked eye, floated up and circled once in the air. Then it entered Chun Fan's brow. A system notification popped up in his mind. Slayed a rotten bone wolf. Gained a wisp of incense power. Current incense power, 1 o'clock. 1 stick plus 1 wisp equals 1,000 wisps of incense power, which equals 1 stick of incense power. Chun Fan was stunned. 1 wisp of incense power. He actually got incense power from killing a monster. And the system specifically called it incense power, not something else. He immediately asked in his mind, "What's going on here?" The system's cold voice echoed. When the Western Pantheon descended 300 years ago, they suppressed the Eastern Pantheon with overwhelming force and cut off all incense power channels of the Eastern gods. But this incense power was meant for the Eastern gods. Western gods cannot absorb or use it. It can't dissipate into the void, so it just drifts around the real world. Eventually, it's absorbed by all kinds of demons, ghosts, and monsters. The stronger the monster, the more incense power they accumulate. So can other people get incense power from killing monsters? When others slay monsters, the incense power is released from the monster's body. But they don't have the unique incense power talent. The released incense power keeps drifting around, unable to be offered to any god. The Western Pantheon's incense power is directly absorbed through the Western Divine Kingdom's faith network, so it doesn't appear inside monsters, Chan Fan understood. Because he has the unique incense power talent. The incense power from sacrifices reaches the Eastern gods with 100% efficiency, ignoring interception by the Western divine kingdom. So only when he kills monsters can he truly collect those drifting incense wisps and turn them into usable resources. For anyone else, killing monsters is just killing monsters. But for him, killing monsters means collecting incense power, which means extending the life of the god of Guan Yu and gathering strength for himself. Chun Fan's eyes lit up. This is freaking like having a cheat code. He looked at those wandering shadows deep on the plain. A slight smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Looks like I'll be working overtime today. The first Rotten Bone Wolf was just the beginning. Chun Fan kept moving forward. Soon he ran into the second and third ones. He killed them all without mercy. With every kill, he gained a wisp of incense power. A wisp doesn't seem like much, but little adds up to a lot. And during the monster slaying, his understanding of Azure Dragon Crescent Blade's intent deepened. Originally, his mastery of the basic blade wing was just 1%. With each monster he slayed, his mastery went up bit by bit. So that's how it works. While swinging his staff, Chun Fan kept reflecting. The essence of the blade wing is the martial spirit that Guan Yu forged through a lifetime of battles. It's not just a technique, not simple moves, but a concept, a mindset of being unstoppable and always charging forward. That concept can only be truly grasped in real combat. Just meditating isn't enough. Then let's go all out killing monsters. Chun Fan sped up. There were quite a few types of monsters on this plane, besides rotten bone wolves. There were rotten bone bears, rotten bone snakes, and rotten bone birds. All at early stage, first rank. Very dangerous for regular people, but not difficult for Chun Fan whose awakened blade intent. They were no trouble for him. The more he killed, the smoother he got. The blue glow on his staff also kept getting brighter. From barely an inch long at first, it slowly grew to 3 inches. Eventually, when he swung the staff, it even made a faint whooshing noise. That was the actual blade edge forming. As the blade intent condensed enough, slayed Rotten Bone Wolf gained 1 wisp of incense power. Slayed Rotten Bone Bear gained 2 wisps of incense power. Slayed Rotten Bone Snake gained 1 wisp of incense power. Slayed Rotten Bone Bird gained 1 wisp of incense power. Notifications kept popping up. His incense power stock kept rising fast. 0.02 stick, 0.05 stick, 0.1 stick. 2 hours passed. Chun Fan had already killed nearly 50 monsters. Incense power stock reached 0.5 stick. Azure Dragon Crescent Blade Mastery, basic 8%. This progress isn't fast, but it's not slow either. The key is he discovered a pattern. The deeper he went into the plane, the stronger the monsters got, and the more incense power they had inside. The rotten bone wolves on the outskirts were only a meter tall. Going further in, he encountered rotten bone bears 2 meters tall. Rotten bone snakes 3 meters long. There must be even stronger monsters deep inside, holding more incense power in their bodies. Chun Fan looked towards the depths of the plain. There was a hilly area there. The terrain rose and fell, and the gray mist was even thicker. He could faintly sense a subtle pressure coming from within. The monsters in there were at least mid-stage, first rank, maybe even late stage. Chun Fan hesitated for a moment. With his strength now, he had no problem handling early stage, first rank monsters. But mid-stage ones would be tough, let alone late stage. But when he looked back at the incense power he'd collected, 1.05 sticks, he was close to the minimum needed to keep the incense burning for 7 days. Still far from enough. He needs to quickly accumulate more incense. 7-day countdown. No time to wait for him to check it out. If he can't win, he'll run. Chun Fan made up his mind. He tightened his grip on the wooden stick, walked deeper inside. Meanwhile, from another direction in the outer training field area, Bai Yumeng's team was efficiently clearing monsters. His holy light magic is incredibly powerful. Every time he raises his hand, a cluster of sacred white light gathers in his palm, which then forms into a light arrow, hits precisely on the monster's vital spots. Early stage Tier 1 Rotten Bone Wolf. A single sword strike from Bai knocks it down. It doesn't even get the chance to struggle. Bai Yumeng's divine tree sense is way too strong. Jiang Kong sighed beside him. It's only been this long? Feels like he's about to break into Tier 1. Wang Hao stared at Bai Yuming's back, his eyes burning with passion. Damn, this woman is truly stunning. Her long hair flows gracefully, her white clothes as pure as snow. Her posture when casting spells is so elegant, almost like an angel. If only I could win her over. How? Don't just stand there. Jiang Kong gave him a push. Your divine tree sense is pretty good too. Kill more monsters. Try to break through today. Wang Hao snapped out of his daze, grinned widely. All right, watch me. He activated his Olympus divine tree. A cluster of pale golden lightning gathered in his palm. It was Zeus-type thunder magic. Its offensive power ranks among the top of all divine techniques. Wang Hao aimed at a rotten bone valve, threw lightning at it. The rotten bone valve got blasted, its body charred all over, cried out in agony as it collapsed. Nice, Jiang Kong clapped. Wang Hao looked proudly toward Bai Yuming, hoping to get her approval. But Bai Yuming didn't even spare him a glance. Walked straight to the next monster. Wang Hao's smile froze on his face. Damn it, he cursed silently, but quickly returned to normal. No rush. Take it slow. As long as Chun Fan, that loser, disappears, Bai Yuming will be his sooner or later. The team kept moving forward. Their clearing speed was high. Bai Yuming alone carried more than half of the damage output. Wang Hao handled finishing blows and area clearing. The rest acted as support. After 2 hours, they had cleared nearly 100 monsters. Bai Yuming stopped, glanced at the divine tree sense on her wrist. It displayed a number. Divine tree sense 67%. He frowned slightly. 67% isn't enough. Still 33 percentage points away from 100%. At this rate, they still need to kill more than 100 monsters. Too slow. He looked up, toward the depths of the plains. The gray mist there is thicker. The pressure is stronger. But the monsters are also much higher level. If they kill those, the divine tree sense will definitely grow faster. I want to go deeper. Bai Yuming suddenly spoke. The team fell silent. Wang Hao was the first to react. Monsters in the deeper area are all at least mid-tier 1. Even some late tier 1 ones. I know, Bai Yuming interrupted him. But monsters in the outer area are too weak. Even if you kill 100, the sense doesn't grow much. To break through today, we have to go deeper. But if you guys don't want to go, I can go alone. Bai Yuming's tone was calm, but left no room for doubt. The team rule is voluntary. I won't force anyone. Wang Hao's expression changed. There's no way he'd let Bai Yuming go alone. This is his chance to shine. Who said I don't want to go?
He quickly corrected himself.
I just think we should prepare a bit. If you want to go, I'll go with you. Jiang Kong and Li Na exchanged glances, both a bit hesitant. The deeper area isn't a joke. Mid-tier monsters from another world, those awakened who haven't formally advanced yet, will have a tough time handling it. Don't even mention late tier ones. They could die if things go wrong. If you guys don't want to go, you can stay in the outer area and wait for me. Wang Hao looked at their faces, a bit impatient. Anyway, just me and Yumeng is enough. These words made it sound like he and Bai Yumeng were already a couple. Bai Yumeng frowned, but said nothing. Jiang Kong gritted his teeth. Fine, let's go. Fortune favors the bold. Lina nodded too. Following Bai Yumeng shouldn't be dangerous. Zhao Kun's face turned pale.
But since the team was going,
He didn't dare to stay behind alone. So he forced himself to go along. Then, the 5 of them changed direction and headed to the depths of the plains, outside the training ground. The huge screens in the monitoring room show the situation of every team in real time. Each screen displays a set of data, including team member list, current divine tree sense, number of monsters killed. But normally they're in hidden mode. Only show for a quarter-hour mid-training. Li Chengming stood in front of one screen, staring nervously at the numbers. His class has over 30 students who entered the training field. He needs to keep an eye out, so nothing happens to anyone. Mr. Li, your student Bai Yuming is amazing. A male teacher wearing glasses came over. He sounded very jealous. 67% sense value. That's just 2 hours. Probably breaks through tier 1 this afternoon. Your class is making the headlines this year. Li Chengming smiled. The kids are doing great. And as their teacher, I'm blessed too. Isn't that the truth? The glasses teacher continued in a jealous tone. S-grade talent. 90 divine blessing points. Guaranteed to enter Holy Light Academy. Tisk, bright future ahead. Your student Wang Hao isn't bad either. 42% sense value. Grade A talent. Should make it into Olympus Academy too. By the way, the glasses teacher changed the subject. Your student from the Eastern Divine lineage, Chun Fan, right? He went in too? Li Chengming's expression shifted slightly. He went in alone. Alone? The glasses teacher shook his head, clicked his tongue. Mr. Li, honestly, you shouldn't have let him in. The Eastern Divine path died a long time ago. Dead for 300 years. If he's on that path now, how's that any different from suicide? Li Chengming frowned. He has citizenship. The training ground can't refuse him. Citizenship is one thing. Reality is another. The glasses teacher adjusted his glasses. A person without any divine blessing system can't even use basic magic. So what's he going to do in there? Just feed the monsters. I heard that the monsters in the training field, a lot of them were brought from the East back then. They're especially sensitive to Eastern divine aura. If he goes in, those monsters will swarm like sharks smelling blood. There's a real risk of someone getting killed. The teacher with glasses deliberately emphasized the word life. Li Chengming's face turned ashen. What exactly are you trying to say? I'm just reminding you. The teacher with glasses smiled cheerfully. Don't just focus on being happy. By Yuming's scores, your own students could die in the training field. That wouldn't look good for you as a teacher, right? Li Chengming was just about to lose his temper. Suddenly, a cry of surprise erupted from the monitoring room. Damn, look at that screen. Whose resonance value is that high? It's over 70% already. It's not Bai Yumeng. Bai Yumeng is only at 67%. It's someone else 70%, 72%, and still climbing. Who the hell is that? Hearing this, Li Chengming whipped around. He looked toward the direction of the exclamations. A group had gathered in front of that screen. Everyone's eyes were wide open. The data on the screen was jumping like crazy. Name: Chun Fan Divine System, Eastern Divine Tree, Resonance, 74%. Kill count, 67. Current status: alive Chun. Chun Fan? How is it him? The teacher with glasses' smile froze on his face. Li Chengming was stunned as well. He rubbed his eyes hard, making sure he wasn't seeing things. Chun Fan's name was clearly written on the screen. Eastern Divine System, Divine Tree Resonance, 74%. Even higher than Bai Yuming's. That's impossible. The teacher with glasses was the first to shout. Eastern Divine System doesn't have the Divine Grace System. How could it have Divine Tree Resonance? Could the device be malfunctioning? The technicians in the monitoring room hurried to check, but all the data was sensed in real time. No anomalies found. The equipment's fine. The technicians confirmed. Then he must be cheating. The teacher with glasses said firmly. How could a loser with no divine grace? Shut up. Li Chengming cut him off coldly. Did you see him cheating with your own eyes? Don't make accusations without evidence. The teacher with glasses was left speechless. His face turned pale and green, but his tone was still sour. Maybe it's some undetected issue. Mr. Li, don't celebrate too soon. Others chimed in as well. None of them believed it was real. Li Chengming ignored them. He just stared at the screen. His heart was pounding. 74%? What the hell is Chun Fan doing in there? Deep within the training field, Chun Fan had no idea that the monitoring room outside was in chaos.
He was wrestling with a mid-tier monster from another realm.
It was a fugu tiger. Its size was 3 times bigger than a fugu wolf. Its body was covered in bone spikes like steel needles. Fangs glinted with a cold light. Its speed, strength, and defense were all several levels above the monsters near the edge. Chun Fan was struggling miserably. He had snapped 3 wooden sticks already. Every time he got through half a fight, the stick would shatter. All he could do was pick up stones or bones from the ground for weapons.
Luckily,
What he got from Guan Yu wasn't just a demonstration of moves, but the very essence of the blade. Anything would work. Even a tree branch could unleash the power of a blade in his hands. The fugu tiger lunged at him. Its claw slashed through the air. Chun Fan dodged to the side. Gripping a monster's rib he had picked up, he stabbed fiercely at its neck. A flash of golden light. The rib pierced through the fugu tiger's throat. Black blood spurted out. The Fugu tiger let out a sky-shaking howl. Struggling wildly, its tail swept across, sending Chun Fan flying. He rolled across the ground several times. Pain shot through his body. But he gritted his teeth and stood up. The Fugu tiger's struggles grew weaker and weaker, until finally it crashed to the ground. Its body dissolved. A strand of white light floated out and entered between Chun Fan's brows. Fugu tiger slain, gained 10 strands of incense power. Current incense power, 87 units. Green dragon crescent blade, mastery 15%. Chun Fan was gasping for breath, his whole body covered in wounds. But his eyes were frighteningly bright. 87 units, he was one step closer to the baseline for the 7-day mission. Plus, his blade mastery had reached 15%. He could clearly feel his understanding of the blade deepen, but it still wasn't enough. He looked deeper inside, where the mist was even denser, and the pressure felt stronger.
He could vaguely see huge dark shadows wandering further in.
Mid-stage level 1 monsters. Maybe even late-stage level 1? If he killed them, he'd gain incense power even faster. Keep going. Chun Fan picked up a few bones dropped by the Fugu tiger. He chose the straightest one as a weapon, and continued walking deeper inside. He hadn't gone far, when he suddenly stopped. There were footsteps coming from the mist ahead, but not a monster's. Chun Fan relaxed and gripped the bone tightly. He watched the gray mist wearily. A few seconds later, 5 figures emerged from the fog. Bai Yuming was in the lead. His white clothes were stained with some dust, but his breathing was steady. Wang Hao followed right behind him. He looked pretty upset. Just now, he almost screwed up fighting a vintage bear. Bai Yuming had to save him once. He felt embarrassed. Jiang Kang, Li Na, and Zhao Kun were at the rear. They all looked a bit worn out. The 6 of them met in the gray mist. All froze at the same time. Chun Fan and Bai Yuming spoke first. Their tone was obviously surprised. He didn't expect to run into him here. Even more unexpected, Chun Fan was still alive, and seemed to be doing quite well. Wang Hao's face instantly turned worse. He sized up Chun Fan, found that the kid was badly injured all over, his clothes torn in several places. But his eyes were shining. His spirit was much better than outside. How did you get in? Wang Hao blurted out. Wasn't the training ground supposed to keep you out? I came in. Chun Fan had no interest in explaining. Wang Hao gritted his teeth. That anger in his chest flared up again. He thought Chun Fan would get stopped outside. Then he could farm monsters peacefully inside. Wait till they got out. Bai Yuming would have forgotten him. He never expected that loser to tag along and get all the way into the depths. You alone? Bai Yuming asked. Alone. Bai Yuming paused for 2 seconds, suddenly asked, Want to come with us? As soon as he said that, everyone was stunned. Wang Hao was the first to go off. Yuming, are you nuts? He's the trash from the Eastern Pantheon. He'll only drag us down. Bai Yuming ignored him. He looked at Chun Fan. It's too dangerous deeper in. It's easy to die alone. Thanks, but no. Chun Fan declined flatly. Bai Yuming bit his lip. He wanted to say something else. But Chun Fan had already turned and entered the gray hut. Damn it, what a piece of work. Wang Hao spat. Yuming, look at his attitude. Takes kindness as hostility. Forget about him. Bai Yuming didn't say anything, just stared in the direction where Chun Fan disappeared. His eyes were complicated. Wang Hao noticed. His anger grew hotter inside. Damn it. He had to find a chance to ruin that loser for good. So Bai Yuming would stop thinking about him. Then that woman would be his. Let's go, Bai Yuming withdrew his gaze. We'll head the other way. The group marched on, but the mood had clearly changed. Wang Hao's face was gloomy.
He didn't speak the whole way.
He killed monsters especially viciously, like he was venting something. Jiang Kang and Li Na exchanged glances. Neither dared speak up. Bai Yuming was still leading, his expression calm, but deep down in his eyes was an indescribable emotion. Chun Fan ignored the group behind him. He kept heading deeper. The gray mist grew thicker. Visibility dropped below 10 meters. Monster roars echoed from all directions, growing more intense. He tightened his grip on the axe. The blade intent between his brows was stirring restlessly. A huge black shadow appeared in the gray mist ahead, 3 times bigger than the vintage tiger. A strong, foul stench rushed at him. Chun Fan stopped in his tracks, took a deep breath. Come on, the shadow emerged from the mist. It was a massive python. Its body was covered in pitch-black scales. A single horn atop its head. Eyes glowing red like lanterns. Elite vintage python level info. Late stage, first tier description. An elite monster evolved by devouring huge amounts of incense. Incense content inside is extremely high. A system alert popped up. Chun Fan stared at the python.
His heart was pounding wildly.
Late stage tier B. 2 full levels above him. But it had tons of incense content. How much incense could he get for killing it? 50 strands? 100 strands? Chun Fan licked his dry, cracked lips. Go for broke. The python moved not pouncing, but crushing. Its massive body rolled across the ground, carving a deep groove. With thunderous rumbling, it rushed him, those red lantern-like eyes. Full of savagery and hunger, Chun Fan didn't retreat. He gripped the bone in his hand tighter, activated the Azure Dragon Crescent Blade imprint between his brows. Starlight lit up from the bone, brighter than ever before. 3 inches, 5 inches, 7 inches. Blade intent condensed to the extreme. Faint patterns even appeared on the bone's surface, like ripples on a knife's edge. The axebone python surged forward,
Its giant mouth.
baring its fangs, 1/2 meter long. A foul stench blasted at him. Chun Fan dodged the front, sweeping the bone into the python's side. It felt like hacking an iron plate. Huge recoil transferred from the bone into his hand. His palm went numb. The axebone python hissed in pain. Its tail whipped toward him. Too fast. Chun Fan couldn't dodge in time. He could only block with the bone. He got knocked flying, rolling several times across the ground. He only stopped after crashing into a boulder.
His chest ached.
He tasted sweetness in his throat. Blood trickled from his lips. Late-stage otherworld monster. Definitely on another level. Chun Fan pushed himself up against the boulder, wiped the blood from his mouth. The python gave him no time to catch his breath. Its huge body pressed at him once again. This time he wised up. It didn't bite right away, but tried wrapping around him. Serpent's deadliest move, constriction. If he got caught, at the python's strength, Chun Fan's bone would shatter within 3 seconds. Chun Fan squinted, calculating rapidly in his mind. He couldn't win head-on, couldn't outrun it either. His only advantage was blade intent. The Azure Dragon Crescent Blade focuses not on brute force, but on momentum one strike. No turning back. It's either you die or I die. This kind of thing takes build-up. Chun Fan started backing up, kept retreating, widening the distance. The axebone python chased after him. Its body slithered over the ground, moving incredibly fast. 10 meters, 8 meters, 5-3.
Now.
Chun Fan suddenly stopped moving. Instead of retreating, he advanced. His whole body was like an arrow off the string, charging at the python. He raised the bone high in his hands. The green light on it flared up strongly, jumping from 7 inches to 1 foot. That wasn't mere blade intent. It was him pushing his tier blade intent to the max, condensing it into a blade force, just 1 foot long, but much sharper than normal attacks. The axebone python sensed the danger, tried to dodge, but its body was too long. The inertia was too great. There was simply no time. Chun Fan rushed beneath the snake's head. The bone struck down from above. The starlight drew an arc, striking precisely beneath the bone python, right at the point where the scales were thinnest. Crunch, the scales shattered. The bone was deeply embedded in the snake's flesh. Black blood gushed out, splashing all over Chun Fan's face. The corroded python let out a piercing screech. It thrashed its body wildly. Its tail swept across, sending Chun Fan flying again. But this time, Chun Fan clung tightly to the bone. He didn't let go. He twisted the bone inside the snake's flesh. Blade intent kept surging out, cutting from the inside. The corroded python struggled weaker and weaker. Finally, its massive body crashed to the ground, kicking up a cloud of dust. The corpse began to decompose. Black ashes scattered. But this time, instead of a single wisp of white light, a fist-sized ball of light floated out. Bright white. It circled once in midair, then entered Chun Fan's forehead, slaying the elite bone python. Incense gained 136. Current incense storage 2.23 sticks. Azure Dragon Crescent Blade Intent Proficiency Beginner 20%. Detected that host's combat power has broken through. Re-evaluating. Evaluation complete. Stage 1 awakened. Chun Fan collapsed to the ground. He gasped for breath. His whole body ached as if falling apart. His clothes were torn to shreds. At least 7 or 8 more wounds covered his body. But the notification in his mind made him grin uncontrollably. Stage 1 awakened. From the test until now, less than a single day had passed. By this world's standards, after the awakening ceremony, anyone who can reach stage 1 within 3 days is already considered excellent. Those who break through in 2 days are called geniuses. Within a single day, he couldn't think of anyone. Even Bai Yumeng, with an S-class talent and 90 divine favor, might not break through today. Yet he, someone whom everyone mocked as useless, reached only 20% blade intent, and still made it to stage 1. Chun Fan closed his eyes, feeling the change at his brow. That green blade shadow was now much more solid than before. Still faint, but the aura it gave off was sharper than ever. According to the information provided by the system, a Western Pantheon awakened needs to reach 100% divine sense to break through a level. But he only needed to reach 20% blade intent proficiency. That's the difference. Not just in strength, but in the system itself. The Western Pantheon's path relies on borrowing. The higher your divine favor, the more divine power you can borrow. But it's always borrowing. The Eastern Pantheon's path is about comprehending the world bestowed by the gods. Once you comprehend it, it's yours. Chun Fan's current understanding of the blade was countless times deeper than when he first entered the training grounds. Who knows how many times? 20% blade intent equals 100% divine tree sense. In other words, his current power, theoretically, equals a Western awakened with 100% divine tree sense. But in actual combat, he might even be stronger, because the divine tree's power is borrowed, with limits and cooldowns, and depends on the god's will. Blade intent is entirely his own. He can use it however he wants. No wonder the Western Pantheon wants to suppress the Eastern one. Chun Fan stood up, stretched his muscles and bones. He was seriously wounded, but he could still walk.
He looked around.
The gray mist was still thick. Distant roars of monsters could still be heard. But he didn't plan to keep fighting. After reaching stage 1, killing more beasts would yield almost no insight from early stage 1 monsters. Mid-stage ones might give a little, but not much. Late stage 1 monsters would give a fair bit, but they're too dangerous. Killing that corroded python just now already pushed him to his limit. Another one like that and he'd probably die here. Better to get out and heal up first. Take some time to digest the gains from this fight. Chun Fan turned and headed for the exit. After a few steps, he stopped again, looking back into the depths of the gray mist. Even stronger monsters lurked there. Stage 2, Stage 3, and even higher. All the way up. The incense in their bodies must be even greater. I'll get stronger first, then come back for a real slaughter. Chun Fan looked away and strode toward the exit. Elsewhere, Bai Yuming's team was still fighting hard. They had already ventured deep into another part of the training grounds. The monsters here were much stronger than those near the edge. Most of them at mid-stage 1 level. Bai Yuming stood at the very front, constantly casting divine light magic with both hands. Light blades, light shields, chains of light. All kinds of spells at his fingertips. Their teamwork was flawless. His divine sense had already reached 96%. Just 4% more to break through to the next level. A few more monsters and Bai Yuming grit his teeth. Beads of sweat broke out on his forehead. He had been fighting intensely for over 2 hours straight. He was running seriously low on stamina. But that breakthrough opportunity was just within reach. Wang Hao followed behind. His face had gone pale. His divine sense was only at 73%. He was still far from a breakthrough. And he was just about out of strength. The Olympian Thunder divine art was powerful. But it took a heavy toll. Now every time he released a thunder strike, his arm would go numb. Jiang Kong and Li Na were in even worse shape. Their divine tree sense was just over 50%. They were nearly exhausted to the point of collapse. Zhao Kun was the weakest, with only 32% divine tree sense.
He was basically being dragged along by his teammates.
Bai Yuming, maybe you should take a break first. Jiang Kong panted as he spoke. Everyone can barely hold on. Bai Yuming shook his head. We're so close. Just hang in there a little longer. He pointed ahead. There were a few ancient bears over there. Mid-stage types. Taking them down should do the trick. Wang Hao's face changed. Yuming, ancient bears have really strong attacks. In our current condition. You guys watch from behind. I'll do this myself. Bai Yuming cut him off and walked forward. Wang Hao opened his mouth, but couldn't say anything. He wanted to help, but his body really couldn't take it anymore. He could only watch as Bai Yuming walked toward those ancient bears alone. 3 ancient bears. Each one was a whole size bigger than the ancient tigers they'd seen before. Their muscles rippled all over. Fangs jutted outward. As soon as they saw Bai Yuming, they roared and charged at him. Bai Yuming took a deep breath. He crossed both hands in front of his chest. A dazzling white light flared in his palms. It was the Advanced Divine Art Holy Light Cross/ of the Holy Light series. It required an exceptionally high divine sense to unleash.
He hadn't reached rank 1 yet.
So technically he shouldn't be able to use it. But Bai Yuming's talent was exceptional. With a divine grace score of 90, his divine sense far exceeded others at his level. The white light condensed into the shape of a cross. He slashed it forcefully. The first ancient bear was struck in the chest. A bloody hole erupted. It collapsed to the ground, howling. The second bear lunged at him. Bai Yuming spun aside to avoid it. Another cross slash. The third bear tried to sneak attack from the side. But Bai Yuming had no time to turn around. He could only throw up a light shield. Bang! The light shield shattered.
He was forced back several steps.
But the third ancient bear's assault was also blocked. Bai Yuming steadied himself. He clenched his teeth. His hands drew upon the light again. This time, the light was even brighter than before. He felt the barrier beginning to give way. Breakthrough cross slash.
He struck again.
This time, the power was doubled. Both the second and third ancient bears were hit simultaneously, falling to the ground, lifeless. The bodies of the 3 ancient bears began to dissolve. 3 orbs of white light floated up and entered Bai Yuming's forehead. Divine Tree Sense 100%. Breakthrough achieved. Awakened rank 1. A pure holy white light enveloped Bai Yuming's body. Warm and pristine. He could feel his connection to the Holy Light series deepening. He could draw much more divine power and cast far greater divine arts. At last, Bai Yuming let out a breath. A faint, tired smile appeared on his face. Wang Hao and the others ran over. Yuming, you had a breakthrough. Wang Hao's eyes lit up. Bai Yuming nodded. Awesome! Wang Hao's face flushed with excitement. You're probably the first today to break through, right? Knew you could do it. He reached out his hand, trying to grab Bai Yuming's hand. Bai Yuming's face turned cold. He took a step back. His gaze, sharp as a knife, swept over. That look was clear enough. Don't touch me. Wang Hao's hand froze midair. He awkwardly pulled it back. I'm just really happy, he explained with a dry laugh. Bai Yuming ignored him. He turned and walked toward the exit. Let's go. Time to get out of here. Wang Hao watched his back. The smile on his face slowly disappeared, replaced by a cold gloom. Damn it. I kissed up to you so much. And you won't even let me touch your hand. Just wait. One day I'll make you kneel before me. Outside the training grounds, the plaza was already crowded with onlookers. The earliest teams to make it out were those with the weakest abilities. Their divine tree sense was mostly around 30 or 40%, barely passing, just 35%. At this rate, how are we supposed to break through to rank 1? The team competition starts in 3 days. The minimum required is awakened, rank 1. I don't think I'm gonna make it in time. Don't get discouraged. There are still 3 days. If you work hard, it's doable. What do you know? Climbing from 35 to 100% in 3 days? You're dreaming. The students chatted in groups of 2 and 3. The atmosphere was a bit heavy. Most people hadn't made a breakthrough today. Some hadn't even raised their divine tree sense much. Monsters in the training ground could help you, but results varied by person. Those with talent could improve a lot by killing just 1. Those without might barely level up even after taking out 10. That's the gap. They're out. Bai Yuming's team is coming out. Someone shouted. Everyone turned to look at the stone gate. Bai Yuming walked out from the vortex. His white clothes looked like fresh fallen snow.
His long hair flowing behind him.
He looked a bit tired, but still carried himself with poise. Following close behind were Wang Hao, Zhang Kong, Li Na, and Zhao Kun. All four looked utterly exhausted. How did Bai Yuming do? Did he break through? A teacher came over to greet him. Bai Yuming nodded. The crowd erupted. He broke through on the very first day. An S-class talent is truly S-class. Breaking through rank 1 in just a day. The ones in our class with C or D rank probably won't make it even in a week. In Blue City these past 30 years, making a breakthrough on day 1 after awakening. It's only ever happened to him, right? Yeah, the last time was 30 years ago. What was that person's name again? He went to the Holy Light Academy later. That one. Teachers crowded in to congratulate Bai Yuming. Congratulations. Breaking through rank 1 on the first day. Your future is limitless. Looks like you've secured the recommendation to Holy Light Academy. Bai Yuming nodded politely in thanks. He remained calm, not showing much excitement. Wang Hao did well too. Divine Tree Sense at 73%. A teacher looked over at Wang Hao. At this pace, he could break through tomorrow. Wang Hao managed a weak smile. But he didn't feel great inside. 73%. What's that compared to Bai Yuming's 100? He couldn't even touch the guy's heels. Jiang Kong 58%. Li Na 57%. Zhao Kun 35%. The teacher kept calling out numbers. Still, that's better than most. Your team is fully capable of breaking into the top 5 citywide. Jiang Kong and Li Na smiled. Zhao Kun also breathed a sigh of relief. Even though he's the weakest member of the team, 35% isn't too embarrassing. Li Chengming stood to the side. Listening to those numbers, he felt really happy. Bai Yuming's performance was expected for him. But Wang Hao's 73% and Zhang Qiang's 58%, those were definitely beyond expectations. This team should do well in the group competition. But he's still thinking about one person. Chun Fan still hasn't come out. Li Chengming looked towards the stone gate. He's a bit worried. Chun Fan went in alone. No teammates. No healers. Not even a decent weapon. Though the monitoring room shows he's still alive. Who knows what he's facing inside? Mr. Li, I think your class still has a student inside, right? A teacher approached. The tone was a bit teasing. That one from the Eastern God system, right? Li Chengming nodded. TSK, he went in alone. Just coming out alive is impressive. That teacher shook his head. If you ask me, you should have stopped him in the first place. Why create trouble for yourself? Li Chengming didn't reply. He kept his gaze fixed on the stone gate. Another dozen minutes passed. The vortex in the stone gate rippled. People started coming out one after another. They were all students from other teams. Their divine tree sense was mostly between 30 and 40%. Li Chengming felt more and more uneasy. Could something have really happened to Chun Fan? Right then, the stone gate rippled again. A figure walked out from the vortex. His school uniform was torn and tattered, covered in injuries, with black blood streaked across his face. But his posture was upright, and his gaze was clear. It's Chun Fan! Li Chengming's eyes lit up. He hurried over. Chun Fan, are you okay? Chun Fan shook his head. I'm fine, Mr. Li. Look at all those injuries. Li Chengming looked at his tattered clothes and felt a pang of concern. Just some surface wounds. It's nothing serious. Li Chengming breathed a sigh of relief. He wanted to ask what happened inside. But before he could open his mouth, an annoying voice piped up. Still alive, huh? Wang Hao walked over, giving Chun Fan the once-over, his eyes full of contempt. Going in alone and coming out alive. Guess you're lucky. Chun Fan ignored him. Wang Hao kept up the sarcasm. So, Eastern God Genius, what did your divine tree sense measure? 10%? Or just 5%? Jiang Kong and Li Na laughed along. Come on, Hao, don't say that. He's the only one left from the Eastern God system. Give him some respect. Yeah, maybe he scored a 20%. Bai Yuming was standing nearby, watching Chun Fan's rough state. His lips moved slightly. He wanted to go over and ask what happened, but thought it might make Chun Fan feel worse. Wang Hao's group was still watching. If he went over, they'd definitely make a bigger scene. So he just watched from afar, looking conflicted. Enough, that's enough. Li Chengming frowned. Everyone, ease up. He turned to Chun Fan saying, let's go. Let's register your data first. No matter the score, it's a result regardless. Chun Fan nodded. following Li Chengming to the registration desk. There were several registration tables set up at the edge of the plaza. Each student exiting had to register their Divine Tree Sense paper here. A small testing pad was set on each desk. Just place your hand on it to see the data. Chun Fan lined up at the back. There were a few in front still registering. Zhang Wei, Divine Tree Sense 37%. Li Kong, Divine Tree Sense 29%. Jia Zhu, Divine Tree Sense 41%. Numbers were being called one by one. Most hovered around 30 to 40%. Then it was Chan Fan's turn. At some point, Wang Hao had come over too, standing nearby, waiting to watch the show. Jiang Kong, Li Na, and Zhao Kun were also there. Bai Yuming hesitated, but walked over as well. Li Chengming stood right next to Chun Fan, feeling a bit nervous. He hoped Chun Fan could score well. But reason told him, for an Eastern God System Awakener, even scoring in the 20s or 30s would be decent. Even if the earlier Divine Tree Sense measured 70%, Li Chengming still wasn't sure. What if there was a mistake? Go ahead and put your hand on it. The registrar was a young female teacher. She looked at Chun Fan with a bit of pity in her eyes. Clearly, she also knew about Chun Fan's situation. Chun Fan placed his hand on the test cup. A faint blue glow appeared on the surface of the cup. A few seconds later, the numbers appeared. Divine Sense Responsiveness, 100% level. Grade B awakened. The entire room went silent. It was eerily quiet. Everyone stared wide-eyed at the numbers. They thought they were seeing things. 100,000, 100%. How is that possible? The first to react was Wang Hao. His voice sounded different. This can't be. The registrar was stunned too. He rubbed his eyes, made sure he wasn't seeing things. It really is 100%. And the level shows grade 1 awakened. The crowd erupted in chaos. Damn, grade 1 awakened. He broke through too. How is this possible? Isn't he from the Eastern Divine System? Even the Eastern Divine System can break through grade 1. But doesn't that system lack divine grace? Am I freaking dreaming right now? Bai Yuming looked up in surprise. Her beautiful eyes were filled with shock.
He stared at Chun Fan's back.
His lips were trembling. He had given it his all today. Only managed to break through grade 1 at the last moment. While Chun Fan, who everyone laughed at as useless, the very person he thought would always be stuck at the starting line, actually broke through too. And judging by the timing, he may have done it even earlier. Bai Yuming was overwhelmed with mixed emotions, shock and disbelief, and a pang of defeat he didn't want to admit. He cheated, he definitely cheated. Wang Hao shouted the loudest. His face was bright red. He pointed at Chun Fan's nose and cursed. An Eastern Divine System reject. How could he break through a trial? This makes no sense at all. Cheating, Li Chengming frowned. Wang Hao, back up your words with evidence. Wang Hao sneered. Mr. Li, think about it yourself. The Eastern Divine System doesn't have divine grace. They can't even use divine techniques. How did he break through? He must have done something shady. In the training grounds, Li Chengming's expression darkened. Wang Hao, watch your words. What's wrong with my words? Wang Hao kept getting more excited as he talked. I'm just telling the truth. Someone without divine grace, breaking through grade 1 in a single day. If that's not cheating, what is? The other students began discussing. He's got a point. How could someone from the Eastern Divine System break through grade 1? Yeah, doesn't the textbook say so? The Eastern Divine System died out 300 years ago. It doesn't have a complete cultivation system. How did he get that 100% then? Maybe it really is cheating. Several teachers walked over. One was a bespectacled male teacher, the same guy who was being snide in the surveillance room earlier. His name was Zhou Hai. He adjusted his glasses.
His tone was serious.
Mr. Li, I think Wang Hao makes a good point. We all know the situation with the Eastern Divine System. This kind of result really shouldn't happen. This student is suspicious of cheating. Li Chengming's face was grim. Mr. Zhou, what are you trying to say? I'm not saying anything. Zhou Hai shrugged. I just think this needs to be investigated. If it's really cheating, it's unfair to the other students. And contempt for the Holy Alliance rules. Yes, revoke his qualification. Wang Hao seized the chance to yell. Cheaters have no right to join the group tournament. Kick him out. What's an Eastern Divine System reject pretending for? Wang Hao's cronies chimed in. Bai Yuming finally couldn't hold back any longer. He stepped forward.
He gave Wang Hao a cold stare.
Enough. Wang Hao was stunned. Yuming, whether Chen Fan cheated, is not up to you to decide. Bai Yuming's voice was icy. Don't make accusations without evidence. Wang Hao's face turned ugly. Yuming, are you defending him? I'm not defending him. I'm just being fair, Bai Yuming said calmly. The covenant stipulates every Awakens results are protected, without investigation. They can't be questioned at random. Accusing someone of cheating with no proof is breaking the rules itself. Wang Hao clenched his fists. His knuckles went white. Bai Yuming actually defended Chun Fan in front of everyone, talking about being fair. Fairness, my ass. He's just protecting that loser. Wang Hao's jealousy and anger almost overflowed. But he didn't dare lash out at Bai Yuming. He could only grit his teeth and hold it in. Fine, I won't say anymore, he sneered, then let the training arena people investigate. As soon as he finished, a deep voice came from outside the crowd. What's going on? The crowd automatically parted. Horn strode over. His black divine robe billowed in the wind. His expression was grim. As the head of the training grounds, he hated nothing more than trouble. Chief instructor. Wang Hao looked at him like a savior. His eyes shone. He rushed to Horn in 3 big steps.
His tone was almost obsequious.
Chief instructor, we found someone cheating in the training grounds. Horn frowned. Cheating? Definitely cheating. Wang Hao pointed at Chun Fan. This kid, Chun Fan, the one from the Eastern Divine System?
He actually registered grade 1 Awakened data.
How is that possible? The Eastern Divine System doesn't have divine grace. They can't even use divine techniques. How could he break through grade 1? Definitely cheating. Horn looked at Chun Fan. His gaze changed. He remembered this kid. Earlier, at the gate, he used covenant clauses to pressure his people. They had no choice but to let him in. He thought the kid would be a goner. Didn't expect he'd not only survive, but register as grade 1 Awakened. Grade 1 Awakened. Horn repeated the words, obviously doubtful. He walked up to the registration platform. Checked the data on the test cup. 100%, grade 1 Awakened. The results were clearly displayed. There was no tampering, but Horn's expression grew even darker. Eastern Divine System, grade 1 Awakened. This doesn't make sense. In 300 years of resonance, few people have aligned with the Eastern Divine System, but it's not unheard of. The most they get is a faint sense. Can't even summon the most basic divine tree, let alone break through grade 1. Hey kid, Horn looked at Chun Fan. How did you do it? Chun Fan looked at him, spoke calmly. Normal monster hunting, normal breakthrough. Horn sneered. The Eastern Pantheon's cultivation system was cut off 300 years ago. How could you possibly break through normally? That's my business. Chun Fan remained calm and composed. There's nothing in the covenant that says Awakeners from the Eastern Pantheon can't break through to Tier 1. Horn's face grew even darker. This kid is using the covenant against him again. Chief Instructor Wang Hao chimed in, adding fuel to the fire. I think we should really investigate him. Maybe he stole some forbidden item in the training field, or used some illegal method. How could a worthless member of the Eastern Pantheon possibly be stronger than people from our 3 major pantheons? Horn glanced at Wang Hao.
He didn't say anything, but he'd already made up his mind.
There's definitely something off about this Chen Fan kid. A Tier 1 Awakener from the Eastern Pantheon. First one in 300 years. If we just let him get away with this, what would that say about the training field? And what about his own reputation as chief instructor? Investigate this kid. Horn made his decision. We must get to the bottom of this. He turned to Chun Fan. His gaze was cold and indifferent. Kid, in the interest of fairness, I'm going to perform an on-site test on you. Chun Fan looked at him. How do you want to test? Horn waved his hand. A staff member came jogging over carrying something. It was a humanoid metal dummy, about 1.8 meters tall. The entire dummy was silver white. Its surface was covered in densely packed runes. There was a circular target on the dummy's chest, emitting a faint glow. When the students saw the dummy, they all gasped in shock. This is the Divine Grace Test dummy. They're actually using it for punishment testing. And it's even the highest grade model. Isn't this thing used for S-grade talent testing? Ordinary tests would never need this. What is Chief Instructor Horn planning to do? Using a dummy of this level to test an awakener from the Eastern Pantheon? Bai Yuming's expression changed.
He recognized this kind of dummy.
This is from the Divine Authority Alliance, specially designed for testing high-tier awakeners, a special testing tool. The usual Divine Grace test cup can only measure resonance values, but this dummy can assess actual combat ability. The most crucial point is, this dummy's defense is extremely high. An average Tier 1 awakener could go all out and still not leave a mark. Only those top talents with Divine Grace scores above 90 can hit hard enough to trigger a response from the dummy. By bringing this out, Horn is clearly trying to make things difficult for Chen Fan. Chief Instructor Bai Yuming couldn't hold back anymore. Isn't the standard for this dummy a bit too high? Chen Fan just broke through to Tier 1. It's for high tiers. Horn glanced at him. If he could break through to Tier 1, then he should have Tier 1 abilities. Testing him with the dummy is only reasonable. Wang Hao gloated on the side. Of course he knew what this dummy meant. A normal Tier 1 awakener can't trigger a response at all. When Chen Fan goes all out, and the dummy doesn't budge, it'll prove he cheated. Forget about joining the team competition. He might even lose his citizenship. That's right, we should use the dummy. Wang Hao was so excited his face turned red. If you're truly skilled, you shouldn't fear the test, right? Eastern God, you're not afraid, are you? Chen Fan looked at the dummy with a blank expression. He walked up to the dummy, reached out and touched it. The surface was cold and hard. The runes inside contained the power of the Western gods. Its defense was indeed very strong. What are the rules? Chen Fan asked. Very simple, Horn said. Attack the target on the dummy's chest with all your strength. The dummy will rate your attack based on the strength. Score 60 or higher and you pass. Below 60. He paused, his tone icy cold. That would mean your ability doesn't match your registered data, and you're suspected of cheating. According to the training field regulations, I will revoke your awakener status and report you to the Divine Authority Alliance for accountability. The whole place fell silent. Everyone was staring at Chen Fan. A score of 60 might be easy for top S-grade talents like Bai Yuming, but for an awakener from the Eastern Pantheon who just broke through to Tier 1, it's almost an impossible challenge. For an Eastern Pantheon's awakener, it's practically mission impossible. Li Chengming's face went pale. Chief Instructor, this standard is way too harsh. Harsh? Horn sneered. If he really has the ability, he wouldn't think it's harsh. What, doesn't your great Xia Empire always say guilty conscience, right? Wang Hao jeered on the side. See, you're scared, aren't you? People who cheat always have a guilty conscience. Bai Yuming bit his lip. He looked at Chen Fan, his eyes full of worry. He wanted to say something, but wasn't sure what to say. Chen Fan turned around, looked at Horn, and spoke to the Chief Instructor. His voice wasn't loud, but every word was clear. I just want to ask one thing. What if I not only pass, but get a high score? What about you? Horn was stunned. Then he sneered. A high score? Just you? That's none of your business whether I score you or not. Chen Fan said, I'm asking you. If my score exceeds your expectations, what will you say? Horn's expression darkened. This kid actually dares to challenge him. If you can score above 80, Horn said word by word, I'll apologize to you in public. I'll admit I was wrong to doubt you. And if you don't, you can do whatever you want. Chen Fan said. Horn stared at him for 3 seconds, then nodded slowly. Deal. Deal. Chen Fan turned around, faced the dummy, took a deep breath, closed his eyes, the azure dragon crescent blade between his brows. Its intent surged wildly in this moment. Mastery at 20%. All unleashed. No weapon? Doesn't matter. He was filled with blade intent. His palm became the blade. Chen Fan opened his eyes. His right hand moved forward like a knife. The motion was very slow and light, just like the stroke he practiced countless times at the Guan Yu temple. But this time, a blue light shone, not just an inch, not just a foot, but his entire arm was enveloped. That light was sharp and domineering, carrying unstoppable momentum. Chen Fan's fingers struck the dummy's chest. A crisp cracking sound. The silver metal dummy split open at the chest. A crack appeared. The fissure extended from the chest to the shoulder, and then from the shoulder down to the abdomen. Then boom. The dummy exploded. Shards flew everywhere. The rune's light extinguished instantly. The whole crowd went silent. Everyone was stunned, including Horn. His eyes were wide as saucers. His mouth hung open. He couldn't say a word.
That dummy.
The very one built for S-rank genius candidates was destroyed, smashed open with a single strike from an Eastern god waist. Chun Fan withdrew his hand, turned to look at Horn. Chief Instructor, what's the score? Horn's throat moved. He couldn't say a word. A trembling technician next to him read out the data. Attack intensity, 98 points. 98. Just 2 below a full score. But everyone knew. The dummy's max rating was 100. To shatter the dummy meant Chun Fan's attack power had already exceeded the dummy's measuring range. 98 was just because the dummy could only display up to 98. Before it could show any number higher, it had already been destroyed. The real value might be higher. Bai Yuming covered her mouth. Her eyes went wide. Wang Hao's face turned paper white. Did I see that right? The dummy shattered. What the hell is this freak? 98 points. He scored 98. It's not just 98. The dummy could only display up to 98. His actual attack power had already gone beyond the dummy's capacity. Awakened from the Eastern God system, with attack power above the S-class genius standard. How is that possible? The crowd's whisper exploded like a tide, getting louder and louder. Everyone forgot they had just accused Chun Fan of cheating. Now all they could think was one thing. Just what is with this guy? Wang Hao stood there, his face an incredible mix of expressions. From shock to disbelief, from disbelief to fear, from fear to twisted hatred. His face was twisted like a wrung-out rag. Impossible, he muttered, his voice hoarse. This can't be happening. The dummy must be broken. Yeah, the dummy is definitely broken. He suddenly raised his finger at Chun Fan. His voice cracked with a shriek. The dummy is broken. It's definitely broken. He can't possibly score that high. No one paid him any mind. Everyone looked at him like he was an idiot. The dummy is broken. The equipment made by the Divine Alliance. And you're telling me it's broken? Even if it was broken, how could it just so happen that an Eastern god would score exactly 98? Wang Hao realized, too, just how stupid he sounded. His face flushed bright red. But he kept mouthing off. I still don't buy it. No way someone from the Eastern god system is that strong. Chun Fan didn't look at him. He stared at Horn. Chief Instructor, do you keep your word? Horn looked absolutely awful. He'd lived over 40 years, been with the Divine Fist Alliance for more than 2 decades, and never felt so humiliated. Just a little while ago, he declared he'd investigate cheating, even raised it to S-class test level, in front of all these people, saying Chun Fan would be exposed for what he was. And the result? The dummy broke. 98 points. Forget Stage 1 Awakened. Even Stage 2 Spirit starters might not hit that score. And he himself, a chief instructor, a mid-level official of the Western God system, got slapped hard by an 18-year-old from the Eastern Gods, in front of hundreds of people. A slap in the face. Horn clenched his fist. His knuckles turned white. But on his face, he forced a smile uglier than crying. I, Horn, keep my word. He took a deep breath, squeezed the words through his teeth. I was wrong to suspect you. I apologize. Those 2 words felt as heavy as a mountain. Everyone around could tell. There wasn't a drop of sincerity in that apology. Only endless hatred. But Horn said what he had to. In front of hundreds of people. He had no choice. Chun Fan nodded, accepted with a calm expression. Horn turned and left immediately. Almost seemed to run away. His whole back was trembling. Not with fear for pure rage. So angry he was shaking. A so-called Eastern God loser had made him apologize in public. He would remember this grudge. Wang Hao watched Horn's departing figure, his face twisting even more. Even the chief instructor apologized. So what did his words just now mean? Was he the clown? He opened his mouth, wanting to save face, but couldn't say a thing. He could only stand there, face alternating red and white. Li Chengming was the first to react. He rushed forward, grabbed Chun Fan's shoulder. His eyes were red. Good boy, good boy. He patted Chun Fan's shoulder hard, making a loud thumping sound. I just knew it. I knew you'd make it. Chun Fan's shoulder hurt from being slapped. But he didn't dodge. He could feel Li Chengming's excitement, genuine and heartfelt.
His homeroom teacher,
Who'd been helping him since his days in the orphanage, helped him apply for grants, tutored him after school. During the new year, she used to slip me red envelopes in secret. Although it wasn't much, Chun Fan has always remembered that gesture. Miss Li, please go easy. My shoulder's about to break. Chun Fan grimaced. Li Chengming finally realized.
he quickly let go.
He smiled awkwardly. I got too excited, really. Just then, Bai Yuming walked over. She stood in front of Chun Fan. Her beautiful eyes held so much inside. Shocked, confused, complicated, and a hint of indescribable emotion. You really... She started to speak. Her voice was a bit hoarse. You really broke through. Chun Fan looked at her. Didn't you see it for yourself? Bai Yuming fell silent. She had indeed seen it, but she couldn't believe it. Someone she thought would never move forward from the starting line had caught up to her in a single day, and might have even surpassed her. Are your injuries serious? Bai Yuming asked. Her voice softened a bit. Chun Fan was caught off guard. He hadn't expected Bai Yuming to ask. Just surface wounds. It's nothing. Bai Yuming nodded. She took a small bottle of potion from her pocket and handed it over. This is a healing potion from the Holy Light Cathedral. Apply it to the wound and it'll heal faster. Chun Fan looked at the potion bottle. He didn't take it. No need. Take it. Bai Yuming stuffed the potion into his hand. You have quite a few injuries. If you don't treat them, they'll get infected. Chun Fan held the potion bottle. He felt a wave of warmth inside. Even though Bai Yuming chose Holy Light, and their paths keep growing apart, this girl who grew up with him still cared about him when everyone else was mocking him, looking down on him. At least she was willing to hand him a bottle of medicine. Thank you, said Chun Fan. Bai Yuming shook her head. She turned and walked away. Wang Hao stood nearby, witnessing everything. The moment Bai Yuming handed medicine to Chun Fan, stabbed him like a knife. He had chased after Bai Yuming for so long. Forget about Dior. He barely even got a smile. Not even a friendly face most times. Yet this loser did nothing. And Bai Yuming cared for him on her own. Why? Wang Hao's nails dug into his palm, making him grimace from pain. But the fire in his heart burned even hotter. He wanted to yell, throw a fit, and rush over to beat Chun Fan up. But he didn't dare. The memory of Chun Fan shattering the training dummy kept spinning in his head. Could he really beat Chun Fan? No way, so he just walked away. Wang Hao turned to Jiang Kong and the others. Jiang Kong and Li Na exchanged glances and said nothing. They quietly followed after. Zhao Keng was at the end. He looked back at Chun Fan.
His gaze was complicated.
He wanted to hate Chun Fan like Wang Hao did, but just couldn't, because he knew the things Chun Fan could do, he could never do in his entire life. The crowd slowly dispersed. Chun Fan signed at the registration desk, confirming his score. The registration clerk's look changed from pity to awe. Hey, Chun Fan, I've entered your data. He spoke carefully. Awaken level 1, attack strength 98 points. I'll mark your results specially. No need for any special marking. Just register it as normal, said Chun Fan. The clerk paused for a moment, then nodded. He understood. This guy doesn't need special treatment, because he's special himself. Chun Fan left the training ground and bought a bottle of water at the gate store.
He drank half of it at once.
Then took out his phone and checked the class group chat. The group was already blown up. What happened in the training ground was spreading like wildfire. Damn, Chun Fan broke. The test dummy. Is that for real? Yeah, I saw it myself. 98 points. The dummy just shattered. Eastern Rising is seriously that strong? Wasn't he said to have no divine blessing? Who knows? Anyway, from today on, if anyone dares to call Chun Fan a loser, I'm fighting them. Don't get worked up. Maybe it was just luck. Luck? Let's see you get lucky like that. Chun Fan read these messages, expressionless. He knew these people's praise now was only because they saw his score. If he lost tomorrow, they'd turn on him instantly. Worse than anyone. That's just human nature. He closed the group chat and took another sip of water.
His phone rang.
It was a private message from Miss Li. Chun Fan, I'll report what happened today to the school. Your scores fully meet the requirements for the team competition. I've registered you. Thank you, Miss Lee. No need for thanks. I'm your teacher. It's my job. All right. You don't have a team yet, do you? Want me to contact some classmates for you? No need. I'll figure it out myself. All right then. All right. I'll send the team competition rules in the group.
Take a look.
There's one more thing. Blue City No. 2 High next door is coming to our school for an exchange tomorrow. Leading them is an expert blessed by Athena. Divine favor score, 86. Their team is really strong. It's said they might even make it into the city's top 10 or top 5. Got it. Chun Fan turns off his phone. He stands up. The team competition isn't urgent. Right now, something else matters most. He looks up at the sky. The sun is almost setting.
He has to go to the Guan Emperor Temple.
The Guan Emperor Temple on Chunfeng Street in the old city looks the same as always. Run down and shabby. Half the signboard has fallen off. The demolition marks on the wall have been blurred by rain. But when he pushes open the door and enters, something feels different. The Guan Yu statue on the altar. Those carved stone eyes seem brighter. It's not an illusion. Chun Fan stands before the statue. He closes his eyes. His consciousness dives into his mind. Incense system. Current status, activated deity bound. Martial Sage Guan Yu. Awakening level, 3%. Incense stock, 2.23 sticks. Number of followers, 1. Only yourself. Divine duty, Eastern Pantheon, walking guardian of humanity. Temporary task, keep incense burning for 7 days without interruption. Time remaining, 5 days, 11 hours, 2.23 sticks of incense. According to the info given by the system, 1 stick of incense equals 1,000 threads of incense. He currently has 2,230 threads. To keep Guansheng Emperor alive for 7 days, he just needs to use about 200 threads a day. 7 days is 1,400 threads. The rest of the incense can be used for other things, like deepening the connection with Guan Yu, like raising the mastery of saber intent, like awakening more Eastern gods. But those are for later. Right now, the first task matters most. Chun Fan pulls out 3 jaw sticks from his pocket. He bought them specifically at the convenience store today. A bit pricier than last time. 1 yuan for each stick. He lights them and places them in the incense burner. Smoke softly rises. He kneels before the statue. 3 respectful bows. Guansheng Emperor above. I'm Chun Fan. Today I slew a demon at the training ground. Collected incense to extend your life. I come today first to worship, and second to invite the Emperor to inspect whether past tasks have been completed. The smoke drifts in front of the statue, swirls once, then enters the statue's brow. After a few seconds of silence, the statue's eyes light up. It's the same flash of light as last time, but now it's a steady glow. Still faint, but much more stable than before. Guan Yu's divine apparition emerges from the statue. This time his outline is clearer than before. The armor is less blurry. There are fewer cracks on the green dragon crescent blade.
Good, Guan Yu begins to speak.
His voice is still booming and deep, but less fatigued, and more content. In 637 years, you're the first to rekindle my incense. Within 2 days, 2 sticks of incense. Far exceeded my ignorant expectations. Chun Fan bows low. You flatter me, Emperor. Not flattery. It's the truth. Guan Yu's apparition nods slightly. You finished the 7-day task ahead of time. From now on, you're no longer a temporary walking guardian. Task complete. Incense held for 7 days with no interruption. Evaluation. Task finished 5 days early. Surplus incense collected. 2.23 sticks reward being issued. Divine duty upgraded. Eastern Pantheon, walking guardian. Temporary status raised to official. Eastern Pantheon walking guardian. New ability acquired. Incense name changed. Can sense incense remnants within a 10-mile radius. And Eastern Pantheon relics. New ability acquired. Statue spirit communion. Can have mental communication before any Eastern Pantheon statue. With Guan Yu, once per day. Each session no longer than 5 minutes. Guan Yu's awakening level increased. From 3% to 8%. Incense system adds new feature. Incense conversion. Incense can be converted into one's own cultivation. Saber intent comprehension accelerated. Chun Fan closes his eyes. feeling the newly gained abilities. Incense detection. This ability is really useful. Incense remnants within a 10-mile radius and Eastern Pantheon relics are all in his sensing range. This means he can find more places like Guan Emperor Temple, collect more incense, awaken more deities, statue spirit communion. He can talk with Guan Yu for 5 minutes each day. That's more important than anything. Guan Yu is a martial sage who has lived for over 1,000 years. His knowledge and experience are unmatched by any textbook. 5 minutes may be short, but if you ask the right questions, it's enough. Incense conversion. This is the core feature. Turns incense into personal power. Previously, he could only boost saber intent by slaying monsters. While not inefficient, it was too risky. Now with incense conversion, he can use incense to directly speed up saber intent mastery. 2 sticks of incense are enough to raise him quite a bit. Emperor, Chan Fan looks up. I want to ask a question. The Western Pantheon arrived 300 years ago and blocked our Eastern Pantheon. What is their goal? Guan Yu is silent for a moment.
Incense.
Incense causes Guan Yu's apparition to flicker slightly. Incense is lifeblood for deities. There are 8 billion people worldwide. Every day's incense generated is astronomical. The 3 main Western pantheons are powerful, but their followers are mostly in Europe and America, Asia, Africa, and South America. Those regions have weaker faith foundations. To expand their incense sources, they have to conquer new markets. Daxia has 1.4 billion people, making it the world's biggest incense market. Whoever conquers Daxia can get endless incense. Chun Fan understands now. Incense from 1.4 billion people. That's massive resources every day. The Western Pantheon isn't here to spread faith. They're here to seize incense. So why don't they just destroy every trace of the Eastern Pantheon? Chun Fan presses further. If they erased everything, people in Daxia would have no other choice and could only believe in them. Guan Yu shakes his head. They can't. Why? Because the Eastern Pantheon is bound to this land. Guan Yu says statues can be destroyed, temples can be leveled, scriptures can be burned, but incense. He pauses. Incense is forged from people's hearts. As long as someone on this land remembers me, and someone is willing to burn a stick of incense for us, incense will never completely disappear. Western divine artifacts can cut off incense channels, can suppress our divine power, but they cannot erase the memory deep within the blood of 1.4 billion people. Those memories are the roots of civilization. If they never die, we will never die. Chun Fan stays silent for a long time. I understand. He stands up. Emperor, I will keep collecting incense, awakening more Eastern deities. It's not just for you. It's also for the people of this land. Guan Yu looked at him. A trace of relief flashed in his almond-shaped eyes. Go on, remember this. The revival of the Eastern Pantheon won't happen overnight. Belief must be accumulated little by little. Followers have to be 1 over 1 at a time. The road is long, but you're walking it. That's enough. The apparition faded away. Chun Fan bowed deeply to the idol, then turned and left. The next day, Lanchangno 1 High School. Chun Fan had just reached the school gate when he heard a commotion inside. 2 black buses were parked outside the school in the lot. Parked in the lot outside the school gate, with Lanchangno 2 High School printed on the side. No, 2 High is here. Chun Fan walked through the school gate. A big crowd was gathered by the sports field. He walked closer to take a look. There were 2 teams standing on the field. One side was students from Lanchangno 1 High, led by Wang Hao. Jiang Kong, Li Na, and Zhao Kun were all there. The other side was a dozen students in black uniforms, with the No. 2 High School's crest embroidered on their chests. The leader was a guy over 6 feet tall, with sharp features, but his eyes carried a trace of arrogance. He stood there, hands in his pockets, chin slightly raised, looking at people from a downward angle. It wasn't the look of looking down on a specific person, but on everyone. That's the No. 2 High team's captain. Chun Fan asked a classmate nearby. The classmate turned to look. When he saw Chun Fan, his eyes widened. Chun Fan, huh? Damn, you're here. The classmate's voice trembled with excitement. What you did yesterday, breaking the dummy? Everyone in school is talking about it. Enough about that. What's going on over here? What's happening over there? The classmates snapped back to reality and quickly explained. No, Too High came to exchange today. The moment they arrived, they challenged Bai Yumo's team. But Bai Yumo took the day off. So Wang Hao and the others stepped up and lost. Lost pretty badly. Chun Fan looked toward the field. There were several shoe prints on Wang Hao's uniform and a scratch on his face. Clearly he'd been beaten up. Jiang Kong and Li Na weren't much better off.
Hair all messy.
Clothes wrinkled. Zhao Kun had it the worst. Limping. Probably took a blow to the leg. So this is no Too High. The captain, Lin Haoren, spoke up. His voice was lazy. Is this all no One High has? He looked at Wang Hao, with a smile tugging at his lips. Where's that S-class prodigy of yours? Bai Yumo, right? Too scared to show up? Wang Hao's face went pale with anger. But he couldn't say anything. He'd just been beaten so badly he couldn't fight back. Their divine techniques were way too strong. Every move pressed him down. He couldn't even unleash his thunder technique. And the other's wisdom technique had already hit him. The gap was huge. S-class prodigy. Lin Haoren chuckled. Is this it? I thought it'd be something special. Turns out they're too scared to even show their face. The people behind him laughed too. Captain, don't say that. Maybe they really are scared. Yeah, S-class prodigy. So precious. How could they dirty their hands with us mere mortals? All the Note 1 High students looked pissed. But no one dared speak up. Because the truth was right there. Wang Hao lost. He lost badly. And Bai Yumo really wasn't here. But back to the point. Lin Haoren surveyed the crowd. Don't you guys have anyone else worth fighting? You can't have only this one level, can you? The team match is about to start. If this is all you've got, when you face us, you should just give up early. Wang Hao's fists clenched, grinding his teeth. He lost, and it was humiliating. But he was unwilling to accept it. With Bai Yumo absent, he was the strongest on the team. But ended up like this, how could he explain that back home? He glanced at the crowd by the field and spotted a familiar figure. Chun Fan was standing in the crowd, watching this side expressionlessly. Wang Hao's eyes narrowed. An idea was forming in his head. Suddenly he spoke up, loud enough, so everyone could hear him. Who says our no one, High doesn't have anyone? Lin Haoren raised an eyebrow. Oh, someone else? Of course Wang Hao turned his head and looked toward Chun Fan. There's someone even better at our school. You just don't know it yet. Everyone followed his gaze. Chun Fan stood in the crowd, wearing a faded school uniform, completely out of place with those around him. Lin Haoren glanced over, smiled. Who is he? Never heard of him. The corners of Wang Hao's mouth lifted slightly, revealing a sinister grin. His name is Chun Fan. He's a top student at our school. Don't underestimate him just because he looks ordinary. Yesterday on the training field,
He shattered the S-class test dummy with one punch.
Scored an astonishing 98 points. That's stronger than even Bai Yuming. If you think you're that tough, go fight him yourself. As soon as he said that, everyone around fell silent. Anyone could tell Wang Hao was setting Chun Fan up. On the surface, he was praising Chun Fan's strength. But in reality, he was pushing Chun Fan forward to take the hit. Best case, Class 2 loses. If they win, it's not his problem. And if Chun Fan gets knocked down too, he'll finally feel better. Why should he be the only one embarrassed? If you lose face, let's all lose face together. The playground was silent for 2 seconds. Then the crowd started buzzing with chatter. What's Wang Hao trying to pull? Pushing Chun Fan out there. Did getting beat mess up his head? No matter how tough Chun Fan is, he's still just one guy. They're up against 5 people. Wang Hao just wants Chun Fan to take the hit for him, right? That's pretty disgusting. But then again, who knows? Chun Fan really did break the dummy yesterday. 98 points. That's C-class standard. Breaking the dummy is one thing, but a real fight is something else. Those 5 work together really well. How can Chun Fan handle them alone? Wang Hao's move is seriously shady. A lot of people shot Wang Hao contemptuous looks, but they didn't dare say anything too harsh. Wang Hao's family is rich and powerful. No one can afford to offend him. Some of his suck-ups even cheered him on. Yeah, Chun Fan's our school's secret ace. Let Chun Fan go up. He can take on all 5 by himself. Eastern deity system. Unbeatable in the world. It sounded like praise, but their tone was completely sarcastic. Wang Hao's flunkies, each one louder than the next. Go on, Chen Fan, show them. Let them see what true strength looks like. Didn't you shatter the dummy? Hitting people should be no problem. Don't chicken out, make our first high proud. Chen Fan stood among the crowd, expressionless. He looked at Wang Hao. His gaze was calm, but the look sent a chill down Wang Hao's spine. He subconsciously stepped back. He remembered yesterday when Chen Fan slapped the test dummy. A chill ran down his back. I'm just telling it like it is. Wang Hao braced himself and said, You really do have skills. Let them see for themselves. Chen Fan ignored him and looked away. At that moment, Lin Haoren spoke. He sized Chen Fan up and down, curiosity and disdain both in his eyes. Never heard of Chen Fan. Which god did you awaken? Who'd you bond with? Chen Fan glanced at him. Eastern deity system, Marshal St. Guan Yu. The playground went quiet for a second. Then suddenly everyone burst out laughing. Everyone behind Lin Haoren laughed. Eastern deity system. Did I hear that right? Isn't Guan Yu just a figure from history books? Has Blue City No one high run out of people? Sending out someone from the Eastern deity system. That system died out 300 years ago. People still believe in that? Lin Haoren's mouth curved upward. He looked at Chen Fan, as if he were watching a joke. Eastern deity system. Are you sure? Absolutely sure. Chen Fan answered. Lin Haoren shook his head. Laugh so, Blue City No one really has no one left. The S-class talents are too scared to come. The A-class ones all got beaten. And now they're sending an Eastern deity system guy? Are all your people useless? That was way too harsh. The students from No one high around them went pale with anger. But no one could argue back. Because the truth is, they had no one stronger to send. Bai Yuming isn't here. Wang Hao lost. No one else stands a chance. The only one who could even possibly have some ability is Chen Fan. But he's from the Eastern deity system. Who really thinks he can win? Even Wang Hao looked upset. Lin Haoren called their school trash. And that insult included him. But he held it in. Because what he wanted more was for Chen Fan to embarrass himself. You heard that, didn't you, Chen Fan? Wang Hao said sarcastically. They just called our school trash. Aren't you going to go teach them a lesson? You're the one who shattered the dummy. Dealing with those guys should be a piece of cake for you. Get up there. Let them see how awesome the Eastern deity system is. He talked it up like crazy. But everyone could tell he was being sarcastic. The higher you praise Chen Fan, the harder the fall. Chen Fan turned and gave Wang Hao a look. Wang Hao's smile froze on his face instantly. His eyes were ice cold, sharp as a knife. He opened his mouth, tried to say something, but his throat felt choked. Not a word came out. He recalled yesterday when Chen Fan slapped the test dummy. And he broke out in a cold sweat again. Lin Haoren's attention was fixed on Chen Fan. He noticed Chen Fan's expression. Not nervous, not afraid, not even angry. His calm was like still water. That kind of calm made Lin Haoren uncomfortable. Usually, people facing him are either nervous or scared or pretending not to care. But Chen Fan showed nothing. He just stood there and asked, An Eastern deity system won? Lin Haoren spoke up, impatience in his voice. So are you fighting or not? If you're not, just say so. Don't waste our time. We still have to find Bai Yuming. No time to mess around here. The people behind him laughed again. Come on, Captain, don't say that. At least he's an awakened. An awakened Eastern deity system guy. Does that even count as awakened? Chen Fan looked at him and finally spoke. How do you want to fight? Lin Haoren's eyes lit up. Fine, you really want to fight. He held up 3 fingers. 3 seconds in 3 seconds. Any format you want. One-on-one, whatever. A gauntlet match, if you'd rather. Up to you, he grinned, confidence all over his face. So, you dare? Chen Fan looked at him. Then at the 4 standing behind him. All 5 of you can come at once, Chen Fan said. The field went silent. Lin Haoren's smile froze. What did you say? Chen Fan's tone was as calm as if he were saying, Nice weather today. All 5 of you, come at once. I'm in a hurry. The entire place went dead silent. Everyone stared wide-eyed. His mouth was open wide enough to fit an egg. 5 people attack together. They're up against 5 Awakeners. Plus, Lin Heron's divine blessing value is 86. The other 4 are all above 60 or 70. This is a top 10 team in the city. Chun Fan is going to fight 5 by himself. Is he insane? One guy takes on 5. Isn't that basically asking to die? Even though Chun Fan smashed the dummy yesterday, actual combat is a whole different thing from testing. With 5 people working together, let alone a first-tier Awakener. Even a second-tier Spirit Phraser would have to think twice. Chun Fan's really gotten cocky, hasn't he? Wang Hao was stunned. Originally, he just wanted Chun Fan to go up and take a beating. He thought Chun Fan would embarrass himself, but Chun Fan said he'd fight all 5. This isn't just embarrassing anymore. This is suicide. But then another thought popped up. If Chun Fan really gets beaten down, Wang Hao's loss won't matter anymore. Everyone's eyes will be on Chun Fan's mess. Who's going to remember Wang Hao lost? Wang Hao's lips curled into a slight smile. Lin Heron's expression turned completely dark. His eyes narrowed, locked onto Chun Fan, like a wolf being provoked. Are you sure? Chun Fan stared at him without speaking. The meaning in his eyes was crystal clear. I've already said it. All of you come at me together. Fine. Lin Heron nodded, his voice as cold as ice. Very well. He turned to his 4 teammates. You hear that? This hotshot is challenging all 5 of us. The 4 teammates glanced at each other, then laughed. Their smiles had anger, contempt, and a hint of cruelty. Captain, if he's courting death, let's help him out. It's time he learned what real power is. A useless guy from the Eastern Pantheon. Acting tough for what? The 5 spread out, forming a fan-shaped formation encircling Chun Fan. Lin Heron took the lead up front, his hands glowing with a faint golden light. That's the wisdom divine technique granted by Athena.
Tactical foresight.
It can, in a short period, boost reaction speed and judgment massively. It's the top-tier support ability among melee divine arts. Let me ask you again. Lin Heron stared at Chun Fan. Are you sure? Chun Fan looked at him and spoke. You talk too much. Lin Heron's eyes turned icy cold. All right, he took a deep breath, his voice low and deep. Today I'll cripple you right here. End your chances of joining the team competition. End your chance at the provincial exam. As soon as he said that, everyone around gasped. Cripple him? That's not a normal sparring match. He's going for the kill. In the Awakener circle, cripple him only has one meaning. Break the limbs, shatter the core, and make him lose Awakener abilities for good. It's even crueler than killing someone, because killing is just death. Being crippled is worse than death, and according to the Awakener convention, any harm caused during such exchanges, as long as it's not fatal, is rarely investigated, because no one can prove it was done on purpose. Lin Heron is seriously ruthless. But what can you do? Chun Fan's so arrogant. Taking on 5 alone, anyone would snap. But crippling someone is way over the top. Over the top. He brought it on himself. Wang Hao stood in the crowd, his heart pounding. Cripple him. Lin Heron said he'd cripple Chun Fan. Awesome! Wang Hao almost couldn't hold back, wanting to shout that Chun Fan should be crippled. Then Bai Yuming would finally give up. That would be Wang Hao's chance. He licked his lips, staring unblinkingly at the field. Come on, hurry up, and finish off this loser once and for all. On the field, the 5 were already in formation. Lin Heron stood at the center. 2 melee-type Awakeners flanked him left and right. 2 ranged-type Awakeners took the rear. It's a standard 5-person battle formation. They could go on the offensive or defend at will. Their teamwork was spot on. Obviously, this wasn't their first time. Lin Hao, Ran shouted in a low voice. All 5 moved at once. The 2 melee attackers on the sides charged first. One used Ares, the god of war's berserk divine art. His muscles suddenly inflated. His fist, wrapped in a red glow, smashed toward Chun Fan's face. The other used Hephaestus's forged divine technique, his arms covered in metallic sheen, like 2 iron hammers. In the back, the 2 ranged attackers started charging up, palms glowing with light. One wielded Apollo's sun divine tree, and the other Artemis's hunting divine tree. Lin Heron held the center, the golden light on his hands growing brighter and brighter. He was waiting for an opening, waiting for Chun Fan to slip up. 5 directions, 5 divine arts attacking simultaneously. Any ordinary first-tier awakener wouldn't survive this wave. But Chun Fan isn't ordinary. He watched the two charging at him, not retreating, not even moving. Just as the fist and iron arms were about to smash into him, Chun Fan finally moved.